In the 121st chapter, a person was killed. The terrifying repulsion impacted the naval headquarters square, and everything was destroyed by it. Under this force, countless Marines were knocked out, and countless buildings were shattered and pushed away. The original 100,000 Marine lineup was neat, and various building defense cannons were in order. But after this force swept through, all the buildings and Marines were destroyed as if they were destroyed. What's the matter? What happened? Am I right? How come? What about naval headquarters? As this naval headquarters, with one blow, destroyed the entire naval headquarters? Who is it? Outside the screen, watching the sudden appearance of the situation, everyone's mouth grew in shock. Because the things on the screen are really shocking. They only saw a figure suddenly falling in the air, and then there was a terrifying sound, and then the smoke covered it. After the smoke disappeared, the situation on the screen changed drastically. The neat Marine soldiers, the mighty naval headquarters, and the advanced artillery all disappeared. The picture that appeared in front of everyone was as if it had been cleared by dozens of strong winds. The defense facilities and buildings of Marine and naval headquarters have all disappeared without a trace. There is only a hollow, only the penalty stand still stands there. There was a person standing in the desolation, and this person was the figure that had just fallen from the sky. Gabriel Yuri is still very thoughtful. This blow is also ruthless. This blow caused Marines' 100,000 elite soldiers' casualties to exceed 6 levels. Even if they survived, they would have no fighting ability. Moreover, it was not easy to destroy a Marine with one blow. The deployment of 100,000 elites completely disrupted Marines' deployment. Did Gabriel Yuri do a good job? Kaido's eyes flickered, and he said with great interest. Mama, this is another trick, the super god Luo Tianzheng. Gabriel Yuri used this trick to kill 100,000 soldiers, Big Mom said fiercely. Naval headquarters, Marine Marshal Sengoku, also watched this scene in disbelief. Gabriel Yuri. Sengoku gritted his teeth and shouted. Yuri. He went to the execution. Robin saw Yuri appear, his face was very tangled. On the one hand, she hoped that Yuri could save herself, and on the other hand, she hoped that Yuri would not come. Faced with the lineup of Marine Marshal, Marine Hero, 3 Admiral, Shichibukai, and dozens of naval headquarters Vice Admiral. Even if she knew Yuri was great, she didn't think he had any chance of winning. Asshole, how dare, how dare. Garp said angrily, going forward to kill Yuri. Don't be impulsive, you are indispensable for this battle. You go up and be driven away by Yuri now, that would be a problem, said Suru. Hearing Crane's words, Garp's face changed ugly, and finally he didn't kill him directly. Is this the power of 4 emperors Emperor Yuri? It's really a monster-like power. Jinbei, who crawled out of the ruins, looked at the scene in front of him and his mouth grew in shock. Is this Gabriel Yuri? It is indeed a monster called the 4 emperors. Such strength is indeed called the 4 emperors. Moria. The devil's fruit ability can be developed to such an extent, really cannot be underestimated, but it is not a swordsman. Mahawk. Gabriel Yuri, no wonder Doflamingo will be defeated in his hands, this is really a power that makes people feel weak. Tezzolo. The Shichibukai stood up from the ruins one by one. Shichibukai was in the marine just now. Under the strong repulsion, they also resisted for a while. In the end, they could not stop the repulsion, and they were beaten out one by one. However, although the repulsion is strong and scary, it can't hurt them seriously. People in this world are not as crispy as people in Hokage world. The attack of Shenluo Tianzheng is proliferation, although the explosive power of this trick is also very strong, but such repulsive power is actually not strong. Don't talk about them, even the elite naval headquarters who were summoned by Sengoku will not die too many under this trick. Most were seriously injured and it was difficult to fight again. Only some of the unlucky ones were buried by the building. However, if there is no treatment, the death toll will surely rise. I miscalculated, I attacked by myself. Sengoku Country frowned and looked around, then looked up to the sky and said. Robin, I'm here to pick you up. Yuri raised his head and said with a smile. Yuri. Robin called. Oh, it's really underestimated to kill such a person. Paluzolino. As Marine Admiral, Marine is underestimated, but we are underestimated. Kuzan. Even the 4 emperors is just a pirate. Gabriel Yuri, don't be too arrogant. Today you have to pay for your arrogance. Sakazuki said with a sneer. Guru Island. How is it possible? Why are you here? No, this is a trap. Run away, you can't beat them, they are all monsters. when the rebellious forces of Garu Island penetrated into the city lord's mansion of Garu City. Seeing that it was about to occupy the city lord's mansion and declare the overthrow of the Gabriel pirates' rule, a group of Gabriel pirates killed out. Everyone can't believe it, haven't they all started fighting with Gabriel Yuri and naval headquarters? How could it be here? No, this is a trap specifically waiting for them to emerge. All the resistance forces and people related to the strength of the resistance are all cleaned up, Beeg said with a sneer. Beeg thought that a few days ago, he returned to Gabriel Island and met Yuri. In fact, he hoped that Yuri would be cautious in starting a battle with Marine this time. If they were not careful, it would be a catastrophe for their Gabriel pirates and Giadi dynasty. But Yuri told Beeg, "Beeg, we came out for freedom. If we can't protect the people next to us, why are we going to sea?" Hearing Yuri's words, Beeg knew there was no way. So Beeg hoped that Yuri would order him to rectify the army of Gabriel City and Garu City, and then they could use their powerful army to fight against Marine. However, Yuri clearly told him that he would not take a person in this battle, and that he would go to naval headquarters alone. Hearing Yuri's words, Bega's mouth grew in disbelief. Gabriel Yuri, he is Gabriel Yuri. What is he in Gabriel? I saw him in the newspaper. It's not wrong. He is Gabriel Yuri, 4 Emperors Gabriel Yuri. It turns out that he is 4 Emperors Gabriel Yuri, no wonder there is such a terrifying power. It's terrifying, it destroyed the naval headquarters in one blow. Is this the power that humans can have? Is this the power of the 4 Emperors? Is this the enemy Marine is going to deal with? Is this an existence that humans can deal with? At this time, the civilians off the screen also recognized Yuri's identity, and said one by one in shock. I originally thought that Marine had gathered so much combat power. Marine Hero Garp, Marine Marshal Sengoku, Marine Admiral Akainu, Kizaru, Aoden, dozens of Marine Vice Admiral, Shichibukai composed of 7 top pirates, and 100,000 elite. Such a lineup, 4 emperors must be dead, and even think that Marine is making a fuss, wasting manpower and material resources, but it still seems too messy now, and it is going to fight such a monster, and even provoke such a monster. Marine, it's unwise. A man with a crown frowned. Such a monster, you shouldn't provoke him. This time Marine may have suffered a heavy loss. A man with the appearance of a nobleman broke out in scared cold sweat. Hey, I didn't see the Gabriel pirates. Could it be that he came here alone? Someone suddenly exclaimed under the video of Sabodi Archipelago. It's really alone. One person facing such a huge lineup of Marine. Does he think that one person can defeat Marine? It might be possible with his abilities. He just destroyed most of the naval headquarters in a single blow and knocked off 100,000 elite Marines. My miscalculation, Gabriel Yuri actually killed him alone. Now we are in a passive position. Sengoku frowned and said. Now Nico Robin can't deal with it casually, otherwise Gabriel Yuri can leave here at any time, Garp also said. Marine launched such a huge war to use Robin and the crew of Gabriel pirates to threaten and drag Yuri. But now Yuri is here alone, but Marine is passive. Because they only have Robin's card that restricts Yuri. If Robin is executed, Yuri can escape at any time. With Yuri's ability, it is difficult for them to take down Yuri who is leaving. Although we are in a passive position, it is also our opportunity, so that we have greater confidence in taking Gabriel Yuri, Crane said. At this moment, Yuri's mouth turned and smiled at Sengoku and said, Sengoku, you are in such a big battle, aren't you trying to lead me over? Now that I'm here, can you still say what you like? Asshole, he acted recklessly in the sacred naval headquarters. All Marine ordered to take Gabriel Yuri for Marine's glory. Sengoku ordered. Also, Shichibukai, it's time for you to help. Sengoku said to Shichibukai again after the order. Kill. Gabriel Yuri is alone. This is the sacred naval headquarters. Pirates are definitely not allowed to be presumptuous here, not even 4 emperors. Gabriel Yuri, since you are here, don't even think about leaving today. The Marines came out, and the blow just slapped them. However, the general level Marines received some minor injuries at most. At this time, under Sengoku's order, they were killed one by one towards Yuri. Shen Luo Tianzheng, impact. Yuri casually lifted his hand, and shot out a repulsive impact cannon, flying out the Marine Vice Admiral who had killed him in front of him. At the same time, the iron sand windbreaker draped on him flew up and turned into a flying knife composed of iron sand. These iron sand flying knives buzzed and the iron sand ultimate vibrated, giving the iron sand flying knives an extraordinary sharpness. These flying knives surround Yuri's body, turning into streams of light flashing extremely fast. As soon as all the Marines below Vice Admiral approached, they were immediately beheaded by these iron sand flying knives, undead and seriously injured. What's this? Can't get close. What a sharp iron sand flying knife, it broke my iron body easily and attacked with a gun. No, all metal weapons are useless to him. No, even my knife was sucked away. The Marines panicked. Yuri's body 10 meters is like a strangulation field. These iron sand flying knives turned into streamers, killing everyone who entered Yuri's body for 10 meters. These 10 meters are like forbidden land. Marines below Vice Admiral were strangled by flying knives as soon as they entered. Even using iron body armament haki, it is difficult to defend against these flying knives. I'm here to block Marines' justice, and you will never be allowed to go on arbitrarily. At this moment, a huge voice sounded and shouted. I saw a huge figure holding this huge long knife and rushed into Yuri's iron sand flying knife field. Many iron sand flying knives were scattered with one knife, and they continued to rush towards Yuri. It's the giant Vice Admiral Fiendo. The giants, Vice Admiral, are all dispatched. I saw Giant constantly rushing towards Yuri, and the iron sand flying knives around him turned into streams of light to cut through his body, and blood splashed out of his body. But Giant didn't pay attention to this at all, and rushed to Yuri with a strong will. Is the giant Vice Admiral? The brain is a good thing, but unfortunately you don't have it. A group of poor people who have been sold and paid for the money are counted for decades. Yuri looked at the Marine giant Vice Admiral Giant who was still struggling to kill him in front of him. Thinking that they were moved by the play performed by the nun Carmelo in the world government, they joined Marine with a mocking look. But right now, you are very eye-catching. Yuri stretched out a hand to face Feindor who was about to slash it with a stab. At this moment, Giant's chest twisted strongly. Polarly collapsed position. Yuri puff. Feindor's face showed painful body, cold sweat on his forehead, blood violently sprayed out of his mouth. The tremendous pain caused him to kneel to the ground. Jane's multiple Vice Admiral. What just happened? I don't know. I saw Gabriel Yuri grabbed it, and a space in front of giant Vice Admiral's chest twisted, and then giant Vice Admiral vomited blood. As devil fruit capable? Vice Admiral, the giant hit by a single blow, vomits blood. Seeing the giant Vice Admiral Giant vomiting blood and kneeling after being hit by Yuri, the surrounding Marines all opened their mouths in horror. That's the giant Vice Admiral, a giant strong man whose body is like a monster. Giants are the most powerful race in the world, possessing terrifying power and physique far beyond human beings. Every giant only needs a little training to have the strength of Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral. More than 100 years ago, the giant pirate group composed of giants once crossed the world. At that time, almost no one could rival. Talking about the overall strength of the giant pirate group at that time, it is even above the current 4 Huang pirate group. Because they have the strength of Vice Admiral alone. And Feindor is even the best among giants, with power comparable to monsters. In Marine, it has always been very strong. Generally, even hundreds of millions of pirates are killed by him. But in front of Gabriel Yuri, he was caught and defeated. Marine was not shocked when he saw it. Even if you bet on Marine's justice, I vow to take you down today. Feindor gritted his teeth and grabbed the long knife again and slashed towards it. What made you misunderstood, made you think that you can touch me? Yuri said coldly. Shen Luo Tianzhong, Tian Chong. Yuri punched out, and a terrifying shockwave of repulsive force flashed out of his fist, and it slammed into Feindor's chest at an extremely fast speed. The horrible repulsive force hit the giant and flew out at an extremely fast speed. Because of him, Li made a huge scratch on the ground. All the shocked people who saw it opened their mouths, cold sweat on their foreheads. It's a repulsive impact. Don't be afraid, he is just a person. For Marine's justice and revenge for his dead companions, Gabriel Yuri must be taken down today. A Marine Vice Admiral Hu Shaoshan said encouragingly to everyone. Avenge for Giant. The giant Vice Admiral rushed towards Yuri one by one. A group of eye-catching guys, you blocked my sight, Yuri said coldly. While speaking, Yuri lifted a palm facing the sky, and saw dozens of small black light balls flying on his palm one after another. These little black balls of light flew on top of Yuri's head and slowly turned in a circle. Gravity reincarnation burst. Yuri waved his hand, and the black ball of light on his head quickly turned towards the front. These black light balls produced a strong gravitational force, sucking the surrounding air. With the rotation of the light ball, the air formed an extremely terrifying storm and rushed towards Marine. What's this? Can't escape. The giant vice admiral who just rushed in front of Yuri were caught in the storm one by one. In the storm, the wind pressure, the wind blade, compressed and cut everyone. Their bodies were cut apart by the wind everywhere, and then they were thrown away far away. The storm hasn't stopped, and he continues to move towards Qianli. His goal is the execution platform. Curling all the hair of a famous marine, the storm hit the execution platform straight. Boom. The terrifying storm was about to hit the execution platform, but it stopped suddenly. The next moment the storm was blown out. I saw a person in front of the execution platform, a marine vice admiral. It is a vice admiral known as the marine hero. There is an old man here, so I will never let you get closer to the execution platform. Garp raised his fist and said. It's Garp, vice admiral. The marine hero is behind us. Even if the opponent is 4 emperors, as long as Garp vice admiral is there, he wants to be presumptuous. Seeing Garp appeared and hit the storm with a punch, everyone cheered, and Marine's morale rose up for a while. Hee. I'm just a veteran who is about to retire. No one wants to stop me today. Yuri said with a faint smile. At this time, in Shichibukai, Mihawk drew the long knife behind his back. Hee. Hey, are you going to attack? Moria asked with a smile when he saw Mihawk withdraw his long knife. After being hit by a super god Luo Tianzheng just now, Shichibukai has been watching by the side. As Shichibukai, they only promised Marine to assist, but they didn't want to work hard for them. Just weigh it and develop devil fruit to the ultimate power. After Mihawk said, he held the knife in both hands and raised it high. Huh? When Mihawk raised the knife to slash towards him, Yuri frowned and looked this way. At the same time, Mihawk slashed out, a huge slash, tearing open the air of the earth with a supreme edge, rushed towards Yuri's newcomer. The great swordsman Mihawk, one of the 7 warlords of the sea. It is said that he is known as the #1 swordsman in New World. It's a terrifying slash. This sharpness is not something that an ordinary swordsman can slash. This slash is not easy. All the people present are well-informed existences, and they can see the power of a slash at a glance. Swordsmen at the level of swordsman can make a flying slash. However, the slashing power produced by different swordsmen is different. The power of the slash does not lie in the magnitude of the slash, but the sharpness of the slash. This slash exudes a terrifying edge, and the slash also carries the will to cut everything. This is the sword intent. Slashing is good practice. Sword intent is hard to find. Sword intent represents this swordsman's understanding of kendo to a very high level. This hint of sword intent raised the edge of slashing to a level again. This is a slash that ordinary swordsmen can't make anyhow. And the slash also contains this outstanding armament haki, which is the same haki as Wanokuni emission. It is to greatly increase the power of slashing. Even a top expert like Garp was surprised when he saw it. Naval headquarters also has many swordsmen, masters with swords. But none of them can reach this level. Good swordsmanship. I also have a sword, so I will try it out. Yuri said with a smile. After speaking, Yuri also had a knife and a throwing knife in his hand. When this flying knife appeared, Kaido, who was watching the video, narrowed his eyes. The next moment this throwing knife disappeared in Yuri's hands. No one knew how it disappeared. When I saw it again, it had already collided with Mihawk's slash. There was a look of horror on everyone's faces. This knife. So fast, too fast. Even I do not see how it is emitted. Sengoku Garp, all eyes are showing a look of horror. If Mihawk's knife is the pinnacle of the sword Ho called big sword / the top. And Yuri, this inhuman knife is a knife, it can be described as ghost unpredictable. Garp Sengoku is so strong have no way to look at as how Yuri out a knife. And this knife is not only fast, but also the power of the imagination. When the knife and hit with Mihawk / the time, the 2 stocks hit the edge of terror has been a battle. Mihawk Janji can also be said of the ultimate kendo, but only 2 stocks edge clash / a while, Mihawk would be to tear Yuri flying opened. Flying out on Yuri outbreak of terror tremendous repulsion, which shares power compressed into the knife. The knife by the blade can be turned into an all-torn repulsion Daomang. It shares power Daomang event of an outbreak, all-conquering, fast break open Daomang Mihawk continue toward chopping off. It all looked torn knife, Mihawk also face a change. Then again, the knife cut, slash and knife together. Mihawk immediately feel the impact of this on small knife over an extremely terrifying force. In this power in their hands supreme large sharp knife almost hit fly out. He tried to let a burst of strength and armament haki. This force as still pressure continues to draw back. Finally, we can only borrow effort to change the direction of the knife, which is considered let off the knife. Mahawk face looked aghast. Look Yuri. The knife him to death crisis not seen in a long time, not by a drop of sweat fell from his forehead. Flying a little even with such terrible power and speed, but not a sword. Mahawk faint. Donkey hide. I was not actually swordsman. I was demon fruit power. My knife was used to kill. Yuri faint. Meanwhile edged knife appeared again in the hands of Yuri. Flying a jubbing, surrounded by the marine immediately scared of a big step back. Just that knife too fast, nobody can be sure took the knife. Yuri is now in the hands of the knife, as if the hands of Hades' invitation, to so and so died. Even the marine who has faith, courage is also a time taken away. Do not worry, you are not eligible to make me a knife. Yuri faint. Yuri hear the words, all the marine presence all face change. They also all have a head, face, figure, where the bear so lightly awe. But in their anger to continue to kill when Yuri caught flying fingers up, the presence of people once again stopped. Yuri did not care about other people, just in front of Mahawk he said, you cut my knife for the job you have to also. Yuri hear the words, Mahawk's eyes shrink, at this time, Yuri knife between the fingers disappear. Yuri flying fast, but Mahawk of observation haki is not weak. Crisis Mahawk instinctive feel foothold knife and a long knife in his hand lifted to Dongxia knife. But the knife is really fast, he did not come to hand and moving, but the knife has been shot in his chest. Block. Mahawk's armament haki is the first time to protect the lives of their own. The terror continued impact of this repulsion Daomang his armament haki. Mahawk's armament haki is not weak, but even Kaido will stop the knife, not to mention more Mahawk up. Terror repulsion Daomang tear everything, like a light general confusion reached the chest, was shot from behind. Mahawk was shot through the body. Mahawk staggering looked at his chest marks, blood continues to flow out of his chest. Good fast knife. Mahawk fell to the ground. Everyone has lost a hole, this is a Shichibukai ah. It's that knife, edged knife and a small can no longer small, it is easy to kill a Shichibukai? This compared with a claw just beat giant Yuri more terror. After all, it is the devil fruit ability, powerful devil fruit ability, the world is obvious. Has incredible capabilities, even if no matter how powerful the owner will not be too surprising. But now a small edged knife, make a Shichibukai no power of resistance. This shocked the world. This is because although flying devil fruit ability was so strong, but others will not think awe. They only see Yuri edged knife with a force Shichibukai make no resistance. But the coin is to become the flying super guns only, coin tired yet. Gabriel Yuri. Would soon Lenga sounded at this time, then the surrounding temperature instantly improved several times, do not know when a whole body braved the lava man appeared. Burning river great eruption. Braved the man appeared magma is played against Yuri punch. The punch shot, like a volcanic eruption, lava turned into a huge fist, with a torrent of volcanic eruptions toward Yuri called. This lava magma temperature is extremely terrible, all things are trails chew. Yuri 4 weeks flying iron ore knife, caught in this terrible lava, even redness burning up, there is an instant part of iron ore is melted away. Yuri only becomes strong, Sakazuki also be strong all the time. Especially after becoming Marine Admiral, not just upgrade the post, there are some advantages to Marine Admiral ago. World government 8 years to rule the world, there are always ways to improve the strength. For example, the body's grown up dipping, some special herbs another example Marine 6 styles of esoteric, as well as some special training methods. After promotion Admiral, Sakazuki get a lot of resources. Plus Sakazuki own training is very hard, so his strength improved a lot compared to before. Ala Lara, it is hot, you see, I have to sweat but you will be able to let me stay magma sweat about it, Sakazuki, Shinra Day Syndrome, Uranus, Yuri punch shot. The impact of terrorist repulsion away from Yuri fist, and great eruption Sakazuki impact together. Very scary power immediately explode, terror inflammation flow repulsion swept around, being involved instead of being torn repulsion, the magma is to be burned alive. Sakazuki Admiral, it's Sakazuki Admiral. Great, Admiral is dispatched. This is our Marines' highest combat power. Even if they are 4 emperors, there is no need to be afraid. Seeing Sakazuki dispatched, some of the Marines shouted in cheers. You will die if you sweat too much, Sakazuki sneered. The volcano erupted again, and the terrifying magma great eruption impacted Yuri more violently. What a troublesome guy. Yuri sealed it with a palm, and the terrifying repulsion turned into a beam of light, and once again collided with the great eruption. The horrible explosion swept through again. This time it was more violent and wider than the last time. It's hot magma. No, the magma exploded again. Hurry up, get out of Sakazuki Admiral's lava, but you will die. It's terrifying. What kind of battlefield is this? We can't even get close. Isn't this a battlefield we can get close to anymore? It's horrible. Is this a monster fight? A large amount of magma exploded in all directions, sweeping everything around. Many Marines were affected by the magma lava from the 30th explosion, and even died directly in the magma explosion. The officers below Vice Admiral immediately withdrew from this battlefield. This is not a battlefield where you can participate. This is the battlefield of monsters, and you can't even stand up if you don't have enough strength. Give up a battlefield to our Admiral. You will only make Admiral fight here because of scruples, several Marine Vice Admirals said. The Marine under Vice Admiral retreated and immediately searched and rescued the injured Marine without burying it. Sengoku also ordered at this time. Upon hearing Sengoku's order, the Marines immediately retreated, and it was not their job to deal with Yuri. In a blink of an eye, only Vice Admiral level Marines are left on the battlefield, but even Vice Admiral level Marines can only watch the battle, and it is difficult for them to participate in such battles. Oh, have you been kicked by the light? At this time, a yellow flash flashed, and a figure appeared behind Yuri instantly. It kicked towards Yuri with a strong light, and the speed was as fast as the time and space around him was suspended. It was called the speed of light kick. As if it had long been known that there would be such an attack, a shield of Psi appeared out of thin air, blocking the speed of light kick. You are still so wretched, Paluzolino, Yuri said lightly. The shield of Psi's exudes infinite repulsion, repelling the light on this foot and spreading it out. But the power on this foot, and the shield of Psi's that also kicked, appeared cracks. Oh, your repulsion is still so troublesome, Gabriel Yuri. Paluzolino increased his strength a bit, and immediately the shield of Psi shattered, but one shield of Psi shattered, and there was another one. Shield of Psi's. At this moment, the white mist appeared. The air that was originally hot due to Sakazuki's magma instantly became cold. The ground freezes quickly, the ice spread quickly, spreading to Yuri's body in an instant. Immediately Yuri was completely frozen. Perusolino Admiral. Kuzan Admiral, 3 Admiral are dispatched at the same time. Great. Gabriel Yuri is icebound by Kuzan Admiral. Have you won? Of course, this is Kuzan Admiral's ice block. Kuzan Admiral is a man who can easily freeze the sea. Sure enough, Admiral is still great. Even if the 4 emperors are in front of Admiral, they also have only the fate of being frozen. Great, I finally won. We won. The Marines cheered. Yuri. Robin looked worried. Ahem, although I don't want to disturb your interest, but this battle has just begun. If Gabriel Yuri is so easy to oppose each other, there is no need to gather so much combat power, Paluzolino said. There is a peculiar repulsive force covering his whole body, and there is no way for ice to invade his body, Kuzan said lightly. Is it true that Gabriel Yuri's whole body is covered with a positive and negative relative force field at any time, which can repel any attack? In the past 2 years, countless strong players in New World have to challenge Gabriel Yuri, but never people can really meet Gabriel Yuri. Some people call it an untouchable sanctuary, and some people say that it is a born emperor who will never invade, he said lightly. That is indeed a troublesome ability. If there is no absolute power, there is no way to break through that layer of defense, Garp said, but he has personally experienced the trouble of this ability. If it were so easy to clean up, that guy would have died how many times? Sakazuki said coldly, and at the same time, magma kept popping up on his fist as if he was accumulating something. Hearing what Sakazuki and others said, the Vice Admiral all around showed horror. Coming soon, Kuzan said with a serious face. Shen Luo Tianzheng. At this moment, a voice came from the ice sculpture. Then an extremely terrifying repulsion burst out, and the ice sculpture broke apart inch by inch and shot out in all directions. Haha, it's so cool, it just happened to be a bit too hot just now. This ice came at the right time, it made me so comfortable, and I almost fell asleep when it was comfortable, Yuri said with a smile. These words of Yuri surprised the surrounding Marines with their mouths open. This is the ice of Kuzan Admiral. Yuri actually said that he was comfortable, and he fell asleep comfortably? Why don't you just sleep to death? Hey, it's terrible, terrible, It's the first time I heard someone say that Kuzan's ice is comfortable for people to sleep. Peluzalino smiled wryly. If you want to sleep, I will let you go to Impel Down and sleep well. At the same time, Sakazuki punched out, and Great Eruption hit Yuri again. Ice Age. On the other side, Kuzan also raised his hands at the same time, and the terrifying ice gas turned into a huge ice thorn to stab Yuri. The ice thorn carries an unimaginable coldness, enough to seal a sea area. On one side is extremely hot lava, on one side is icy ice. It was as if two ultimate worlds were attacking Yuri. Yuri pushed his hands apart, and immediately two terrifying repulsive forces rushed out of his palms, blocking the magma and ice. Oh, the old man came and happily put his hand in. At this time, Peluzalino pulled his hands, shining brightly, and a shining lightsaber appeared in his hand. Peluzalino held the lightsaber in both hands and cut it out. This sword cut out the lightsaber and stretched out, turning into a dazzling light and cutting it towards Yuri. At this time, Yuri's hands were resisting the attacks of Sakazuki and Kuzan. The sword cut out, Jin Guangyao lightsaber on the ground. Lightsaber flashing light comes out like a small sun in general. This lightsaber incredible speed, flash, lightsaber would have been cut to the front of Yuri. And this time his hands to block Kuzan and Sakazuki Yuri attack, too late to escape if the whole person in general, this is a real lightsaber hit. Yuri whole person beheaded inverted out. Yuri looked at directly by their own sword cut flag, he has exposed a bitter smile to. You, attacks smoothly, and subconsciously at a shot. Yuri was shot to hit a top speed down. Yuri no barrier, lava world in the world hit with ice. Ultimate power of terror blast off, swept around. Ultimate power of 2 shares not impact collisions, but also continue to explode, and frozen lava world continue to collide, as if one day to the world in general. It really is a human fight It was the power of natural disasters in general, it's horrible. Marine Admiral is moving disaster off. Really, worthy of the highest marine combat power, the 3 Admiral shot, even Gabriel Yuri difficult to resist it. It was like a day in the world in general, too much. Ha ha ha, natural disasters, general strength, which is 3 Marine Admiral, this is the ability Logia Devil Fruit. If there are words Logia Devil Fruits. One looked like a man, but it is dressed in human skin monsters. Humans could have such control over the forces of terror, really horrible. Gabriel Yuri is so light sword hit, end of the world has been general attack spread, it's certainly dead. 4 emperors Gabriel Yuri can kill, really worthy of 3 Marine Admiral. See the video as if fighting to destroy the world in general, a stunned ordinary civilians. They feel the 3 views have been broken. Such a situation, not to mention personal experience, and even watching horror felt outside the video. They really cannot imagine how humans could have such power. If one natural disasters like walking in general. Before they say monster, a monster, but in fact it is not yet clear understanding. Today they would understand the monster in the end what it meant. And compared to the power of Yuri, Sakazuki such as human capacity, like the power to destroy the world in general, and more intuitive for all to see these horrible monsters. This is the admirals fighting it. We cannot really participate in the battlefield. Scourge forces in general, but fortunately they are our side, if they are your enemy. Gabriel Yuri dead. Definitely dead, who can survive in such an attack? It cannot, but the other 4 strong Emperor Yuri, common sense is not possible to measure the monster 4 weeks as far out of the battlefield of marine officers, was also horrible situation on the battlefield attracted. Looked frightened and local frozen lava explosions. The world is like the formation of 2 lava and ice in a collision in general, to shock the world. For a long time and frozen lava explosions slowly disappeared. This time Sakazuki and Kuzan the same time to stare toward? I'm sorry, but Gabriel Yuri's situation just now was so sneaky that I didn't hold back. Peluzalino said with a smile. Sakazuki and Kuzan both showed speechless expressions. Just now the 2 attacked Yuri from both sides, and Yuri had to use a strong repulsion to resist. The 2 of them continue to increase their strength, which greatly consumes Yuri's physical strength. Sengoku and other marine executives understand that Yuri is not so easy to kill. The best way to kill him is to find a way to exhaust his physical energy. When his physical strength is almost exhausted, there is no way to use the devil fruit ability anymore, that is the time to defeat Yuri. So just now, the 2 people who cooperated silently and tacitly cooperated with Yuri, just to use this to greatly consume Yuri's physical strength. But Peluzalino's blow completely messed up their calculations. Although Perusalino's blow hit Yuri head-on, and even though it flew Yuri's upside down, it didn't hurt Yuri at all. The relative force field of Yuri's positive and negative poles easily blocked the attack of this sword. However, with the help of Perusalino's sword, Yuri flew backwards at extreme speed and escaped from the attack of the two. Sakazuki and Kuzan's plan fell through. And after Yuri left, Sakazuki and Kuzan were caught off guard, too late to regain their strength. The two long-established forces collided together, and almost injured both of them. Haha. What a troublesome guy. I don't have time to waste exercises here with you, Yuri said with a smile. In fact, for him, Sakazuki is no weaker than Garp and Sengoku. The three of them are Logia fruit abilities. It is difficult for ordinary devil fruit attacks to damage their elementalization. If you want to deal with them, you must use armament haki. Moreover, the armament haki of the three of them have reached the colorless level, and it is difficult for the general armament haki to hurt them. And Yuri's armament haki is still a bit unable to get it. And using armament haki also consumes energy. The fierceness of Sakazuki lava, Kuzan's frozen ice. The speed of Perusalino's flashes, the three of them can definitely drag him to death. Crack. Yuri folded his hands together, and the huge magnetic force around him gathered between his palms. Is that the trick? Seeing Yuri folded his palms together, Kaido stood up and looked at the video with a serious expression. That trick? What? Boss Kaido. I see. Kaido looked serious, and the smoke and Quinn on the side looked suspicious. 2 consecutive fission, sky anger, a terrible move, Kaido said lightly. Even Guy, how old do you think it is terrible? Kai and Quinn asked incredulously. After Gabriel Yuri's devil fruit awakening force is already very terror. This move so his body will consume power, will instantly burst out devil fruit power, natural extraordinary. This move is enough to destroy the entire naval headquarters, erase the entire Malin Fender Island. Kaido said lightly. Hearing Kaido's words, Yan and Quinn both showed a look of horror, and then they all looked at the video with all their attention. They also want to see the devastating moves that Kaido says. Bipolar, static fields, but Yuri did not use wrath. At the same time his palms open, there is a colored ball of light in the chaos between his palms. Between control of hands Yuri, light ball quickly spread. The final formation of a field, completely enveloped the 4 weeks to live, Sakazuki trio are all wrapped in one. No trick, Kaido said, surprised to read. Is enveloped in this area Sakazuki, who all reveal a look of dismay. Their bodies actually are not able to move the horde. What's the matter? I can't move my body. Perusalino's face changed, and his heart was secretly shocked. What kind of ability is this? How can Gabriel Yuri have such ability even if all the surrounding objects are still? Kuzan showed a look of horror. Any ability in time and space? No, if time and space are fixed, thinking will also be fixed, and even less able to think. Sakazuki's eyes flashed. What's the situation? Why didn't they suddenly stop moving? A marine said in shock. It's not that it doesn't move, but it can't move. Didn't you see that the entire area is frozen? Water vapor, fog, flames, and magma are all frozen and unable to move. A marine rear admiral was shocked. Said. What is this ability? Is this Gabriel Yuri doing it? Isn't he a magnetic fruit? A monster? Can such a thing be done? The marines all exclaimed in disbelief. He, it's a veritable monster. It has frozen the entire space. This is horrible. Is the space-time ability? Is Gabriel Yuri a double demon fruit power? Moria can't believe it. Sure enough, it's correct to not shoot. I don't want to fight with such a monster, Tezzolo said. The other Shichibukai also showed horror. It's troublesome now. I didn't expect Gabriel Yuri to have this ability, he said with a gloomy expression. At this time, Garp on the side picked up a rock and waited. With a wave of his hand, the rock shot out like a rocket at extreme speed, and in a blink of an eye, it hit the static field of the 2 poles. But at the moment the stone shot into the static domain of the 2 poles, the stone that was still violently castrated suddenly came to a standstill and floated in this domain. Sure enough, as soon as you enter that area, you will be frozen, and you can't even attack, Garp said. Is there no way to attack? So the people inside will not be in danger, Crane said. It looks like this, but it doesn't rule out what other moves Gabriel Yuri will have, Garp said. Well, sure enough, this field can hold down other people, but it can't hold down users. Suddenly Garp narrowed his eyes and said. In Garp's gaze, Yuri moved, and rushed through the field towards the execution platform. Yuri naturally does not use polar fission, Skywrath. Not to mention that this trick is too expensive. Once the use explodes here, Robin will not be spared. Yuri came here to save Robin, so naturally he wouldn't use this kind of move that even Robin can't escape. The move Yuri uses now is called the two-pole static domain. As the name suggests, this is a force that makes everything stand still. It is a special field formed by the perfect fusion of gravitational magnetic field repulsion and magnetic field. Note: it is a gravitational magnetic field and a repulsive magnetic field, not a simple gravitational and repulsive force. The gravitational magnetic field and the repulsive magnetic field say that they are gravitational and repulsive forces. It is better to say that they are a special kind of magnetic field. It is a magnetic field with the characteristics of gravitational repulsion. Like ordinary magnetic fields, they are not afraid of any destructive power, just like invisible existence. Yuri also discovered them by accident when he was studying the sum of gravitational repulsion. At first, Yuri was a little curious about them, but also to better study gravitation and repulsion, so I also studied them by the way. But Yuri found that they had neither destructive power nor special effects. In other words, they are too high level and too mysterious. With Yuri's strength and abilities, nothing can be studied. Originally planned to give up, but some time ago, he accidentally discovered that when the two force fields merged, it would have a magical effect. Finally, through continuous experiments, the two perfectly blended together, thus developing the two-pole static domain. He can ban everything in the domain and let the objects in the domain fall into a strange state of stillness. This state of DAAC is very strange. Of course it is not a time-space suspension. If it's time and space, even if Yuri can do it, he can't do it. What a tremendous amount of power is needed to freeze time and space, and it will be enough to squeeze Yuri out in an instant. It just makes the objects in the domain fall into a static state, or that this is also a force field, a very special force field. Yuri himself didn't understand the principle. As a person with the ability of magnetic fruit, Yuri can control the magnetic field and open a small mouth for himself, so as to move in the field. But he also has no way to attack the enemy in this domain, because in this bipolar static domain, even attacks are static, and all attacks are futile. After fixing Sakazuki and others with the two-pole static domain, Yuri opened a small mouth in the domain and rushed out. At this time, no one could stop him anymore, and Yuri rushed towards the execution platform very quickly. "Robin, I'm here," Yuri said to Robin on the execution stage as he rushed. "I said, kid, if I am here, you will never be allowed to pass." A figure flicked past, and a person appeared in front of Yuri and blocked Yuri. The really troublesome guy appeared, Monkey D. Garp. Yuri also frowned as he looked at the person who appeared. "Ha ha ha, Gabriel Yuri, even you can't stop this execution today," Garp said with a smile. "Prepare to be executed," Sengoku ordered at the same time. Sengoku feels that the form has become a little unfavorable. If this continues, it is really possible that Yuri will save Robin away. After all, Yuri has the static domain of the two poles. If you let him get close, and then use that domain, I'm afraid he won't be able to move in that domain, and Yuri can easily rescue Robin. This time Marine made such a big move, and it was turned upside down by Yuri. The whole Marine suffered heavy losses. If Yuri can easily rescue people, it would really be a big joke. And this time, the whole world will be broadcast live, and the prestige of the whole Marine will be lost. So Sengoku decided that if Yuri could not be kept, Robin would definitely be executed, so as to preserve some of Marine's face. Under Sengoku's order, the two executioners appeared on the execution platform, and aimed at Robin with bayonets in their hands. As long as Sengoku gives an order, they will pierce Robin's body. "I see who dares," Yuri said coldly. The terrifying spirit rushed out of Yuri's body, and the suffocating conquerors enveloped the entire naval headquarters. The two execution soldiers lost consciousness and passed out silently. Conqueror's haki. It's so domineering, but it's a matter of course. After all, the opponent is Gabriel Yuri, one of the four emperors. Seeing Yuri's extremely terrifying and domineering spirit, Sengoku and others were slightly surprised, and then they calmed down. Although there is no information that Yuri has Conqueror's spirit, but the other party is one of the four emperors, isn't it natural to have Conqueror's spirit? The strong Conqueror's haki covers the entire Malin Fendo. Is this the spirit of four emperors Gabriel Yuri? It's amazing. It really deserves to be four emperors, so powerful. Sengoku Garp is not surprised, but other Marines don't think so. This haki enveloped the entire naval headquarters, exuding an extremely domineering spirit, and many Marines were stunned. Under this courage, horror, fear, and frightening emotions involuntarily surged up. Even some Colonel Rear Admiral met with a look of horror in his eyes. Using conquerors to stun the executioner, if that's the case, let me execute it myself, Sengoku said coldly. He is determined to kill Robin today. Otherwise, Marine will dissipate his majesty, and even hesitate to execute Robin himself. Sengoku, dare you? Yuri shouted. The terrifying spirit came out of his shock again, and Sengoku was alone after the goal this time. The old man, that martial Marine, the little conqueror's spirit cannot deter the old man. The strong spirit made Sengoku sweat, but his attitude was still tough. Sengoku was talking, raising his palm, as if he was about to hit Robin. The inner eyebrows frowned, the gaps moved, and they suddenly appeared dozens of meters behind Garp, and continued to move towards the execution platform. But at this moment, Yuri felt a crisis hit, and instantly moved more than 10 meters. As he moved away in an instant, a fist struck where he was standing. Bang! Boom! With this punch, the ground shattered, collapsed in a large area, and the whole ground was hit and sunken. I said, don't even think about getting close to the execution table with me. Garp sneered at Yuri and said. Sengoku Garp, I have to kill Robin before I die. Is this really good? Seeing Sengoku's imminent execution Robin, Yuri showed some anxious expressions on his face, and then relaxed again. When they heard Yuri's words, Sengoku and Garp were shocked, not knowing what he meant. If Robin dies, I have no restrictions. I promise that once Robin dies, I will instantly destroy everyone in the entire naval headquarters, including you and the 3 Admiral. I promise that I can do it, Yuri said lightly. What did he say? Instantly destroy everyone in naval headquarters, including Marshal Sengoku Garp Vice Admiral and San Admiral. Even if you are 4 Emperors Gabriel Yuri, you are too arrogant, right? Such a thing is absolutely impossible. I didn't expect the 4 Emperors to brag. It's not because Marshal Sengoku is going to execute Robin, he started talking nonsense in a hurry. As soon as Yuri said this, the Marines present did not believe what Yuri said. How can it be possible to destroy Marineford in an instant? Not to mention that there is Marshal Marine on Marlin Fendo now. Marine heroes have such top combat power, even if he is 4 Emperors Gabriel Yuri, it is impossible to do it. But after hearing Yuri's words, Sengoku Garp's eyes narrowed. If it is someone else, Sengoku Garp will only think he is talking big. But the other party is Yuri. The most important thing is that they also perceive from Yuri's tone that Yuri is not lying, he is serious. There is a sense of confidence in Yuri who can definitely do it. Sengoku, Garp, defeat Gabriel Yuri first, Suru said at this time. Hearing Suru's words, Garp and Sengoku became even more solemn. Crane's observation haki, and in the eyes of people's hearts, but far above them. Even Crane said that Gabriel Yuri had no intention of really having the ability to easily destroy the entire Marin Fendo. Grandma Crane has said so, it seems that Gabriel Yuri must be dealt with first, Garp said solemnly. Garp, it looks like it's going to be a long-lost joint battle, don't hold back, Sengoku said with the Marine windbreaker on his body. You are, after sitting in the office for so long, you won't forget to fight, Garp said. Who do you think you're talking about? I'm the great Buddha Sengoku. Sengoku flew out of the sky and stood side by side with Garp in a short while. It's Garp Vice Admiral and Marshal Sengoku. I didn't expect to see them fighting together again. They are Marine Shuangbi. The 2 of them joined forces. There is absolutely no pirate to be their opponent. Even the former flying pirate Golden Lion was defeated by them and was caught impelled down. This is Marine's real backing card. If the 2 of them join forces, Gabriel Yuri will definitely not be an opponent. Seeing Sengoku and Garp join forces, many Marines cheered. Even some Marines shed tears with excitement. Gabriel Yuri, you want us to solve you first, that's what you want, Sengoku said. After speaking, Sengoku glowed with golden light all over his body, and his body became larger. In a blink of an eye, a giant Buddha emitting golden light appeared in front of everyone. Marshal Sengoku's Devil Fruit ability. This is the fruit of the Eudemon's giant Buddha, even rarer than Logia. The Marines cheered. Garp also raised his fist, exuding a terrifying breath all over. Yuri's eyes narrowed when she saw it. In the next moment, a fist was constantly enlarged in Yuri's eyes, and Garp's punch was already in front of him. No camera moving. Yuri moved a few meters away in an instant to avoid the blow. But just as Yuri had just gotten firm, he felt a terrifying shockwave hitting him. It turned out that Sengoku accurately captured Yuri's footing after avoiding and hit him with a palm. With this palm, a terrifying shock hit him instantly. The shockwave is released with a powerful armed color. As the shockwave continues to penetrate into Yuri's positive and negative relative force field. Shen Luo Tian Chong. At the moment of crisis, Yuri pushed out both palms, and a shockwave of terrifying repulsion came out from between Yuri's palms. Immediately two powerful shockwaves collided together. The force of horror overflowed, shattering everything around, and the ground cracked in large areas. Bump. As soon as the impact of the shockwave disappeared, Yuri was hit by a fist before he could even breathe. Is Garp's fist. Yuri's body flew out involuntarily. At the same time, the terrifying armament haki tore open his opposite position and hit Yuri armament haki defensively. Sure enough, it's still a bit difficult to face two monsters at the same time. Yuri stood up, with some bloodline flowing out of the corner of his mouth, and this punch hurt him a bit. The most important thing is that the two people fight and cooperate too tacitly. He didn't give him the slightest chance to breathe at all. Just catch Gabriel Yuri, you have no chance, Sengoku said. Who do you think you are talking to? Yu Julong hit. Yuri shouted. As he shouted, there was a sudden roar of dragons in the sky. When everyone looked up, they all showed expressions of exclamation. I saw 9 iron sands forming a giant dragon falling in the sky. There are powerful lightning flashes on these dragons, just like 9 thunder dragons. They smashed to Sengoku Garp very fast, blowing towards Sengoku Garp with their teeth and claws, as if they were about to swallow the two in one bite. 2. The lightning iron sand dragon is extremely fast, and it will fly in front of Garp in a blink of an eye. A giant dragon opened its huge mouth, and took a bite to Garp. Jiaolonglong's mouth and teeth are made of magnet sand, and each magnet sand makes a humming sound. The iron sand vibrates and rotates in the ultimate, just like a very sharp electric drill, with an incomparable penetrating power and power. The edge bit towards Garp. If an ordinary person has armament haki, he will be pierced by these extremely sharp teeth, but Garp pinched the electric drill fangs with one finger, and the electric drill fangs were crushed by him, both hands and feet. With force, Lonko was greatly opened by him. Roar. At this moment, the electric light on the dragon's mouth finally flashed, and the next moment a light burst out from the dragon's mouth, instantly hitting Garp. Super electromagnetic gun. This iron sand dragon carries extremely powerful lightning, and the super electromagnetic gun it shoots is much stronger than Yuri himself. Even Garp was hit by this super electromagnetic gun and flew out continuously, and finally hit a ground. Of course, this electromagnetic gun couldn't hurt Garp, and the mighty armament haki defended him. Boom. 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 After Garp was beaten out, the dragon's mouth kept shooting huge super electromagnetic guns. The super electromagnetic gun was extremely fast, and immediately caught up with Garp, shooting continuously at the place where Garp fell. Then there were 4 thunder and lightning iron sand dragons, and they aimed at the mouth of the open dragon. Lonko's electric lights fired in all directions, and one super electromagnetic gun burst out of their mouths continuously, attacking Garp frantically. A good attack. Bang, bang, bang. In the face of the super electromagnetic cannon that kept shooting, Garp punched out. The terrifying armament haki shot from his fist and smashed the electromagnetic cannon that had been shot. However, because of the continuous calls from the electromagnetic gun, even Garp was confined there for a while. At the same time, 4 other lightning iron sand dragons surrounded Sengoku, constantly wandering and attacking. The dragon bites, hits, the dragon wobbles its tail, and the lightning iron sand dragon turns into a fatal attack, attacking Sengoku frantically. Big Buddha shock. At this time, Sengoku saw Garp being beaten out, and the super electromagnetic gun kept firing at him. He knew that he could no longer be dragged by these lightning iron sand dragons. I saw a palm shot. There was no shockwave on this palm, but under this palm, a huge lightning iron sand dragon was instantly blasted. But the lightning iron sand dragon that was blown out instantly released a powerful lightning, covering Sengoku. Fortunately, Sengoku is a person with the fruit of the Big Buddha. After incarnation of the Big Buddha golden body, it has extremely terrifying defensive power. Its defensive power is stronger than Kaido. Kaido claims to be immortal, but not only because of his defense, but also because of his recovery. Big Mom is known as an iron barrel balloon. Even if it is different from armament haki, it can also defend against sword attacks.
But even the defense of Big Mom is not as good as Sengoku.
Under normal conditions, Sengoku, who has cultivated Marine 6 styles to the peak, can easily defend against sword attacks. One block is the incarnation of the Buddha. His golden Buddha is the strongest defensive body in the world, and the body's defense is not even weaker than the diamonds of the Whitebeard pirate group JOZ. The powerful thunder and lightning bathed his body, and Sengoku just frowned, completely unable to split its golden body. After the thunder and lightning disappeared, Sengoku frowned again. It was not that the lightning that had just exploded hurt him, but it saw that the thunder and lightning iron sand dragon that had just been exploded had recovered again, and once again killed Sengoku with its teeth and claws. This is really troublesome ability, Big Buddha Finger Pistol. As soon as Sengoku pointed it out, a terrifying shockwave blasted from his finger, instantly piercing the entire Flood Dragon's body. Is it because the lightning just broke out? This time the thunder and lightning iron sand dragon exploded and did not explode as before, because the thunder and lightning in the lightning iron sand dragon had been consumed in the explosion just now. Sengoku couldn't allow Sengoku to think too much. Under Yuri's control, the other 3 lightning iron sand dragons also slew towards Sengoku. Then Sengoku used a lot of strength, and only then did the 3 dragons explode one by one. But in a blink of an eye, 4 lightning iron sand dragons appeared in front of Sengoku again. At this time, a thunder and lightning iron sand dragon called towards Sengoku. With Sengoku's ability, he can avoid it, at least there is no problem with resisting, but when he was about to move, his body movement slowed down a bit, his body was severely hit by the iron sand dragon's tail, and the whole person was beaten to fly. Went aside. It's the thunder and lightning just now, Sengoku said in surprise. In the last few thunderstorms, although Sengoku's defenses were not broken, the lightning was very conductive, penetrated into Sengoku's body, and silently paralyzed Sengoku's body. Just when Sengoku's body was paralyzed, the lightning iron sand dragons slew one after another, strangling Sengoku frantically. The dragon teeth bite, the dragon claws crack, the dragon body cuts into the knife, and the dragon tail strikes. Sparks splashed around Sengoku who was hitting him, and for a while, Marine Marshal Sengoku was hit. What a miscalculation, Sengoku said gloomily. Oh, spray Marshal Sengoku, you seem to be embarrassed. At this moment, a ridiculous voice sounded, and then the radiant light shone, and a light instantly penetrated a lightning iron sand dragon that was biting toward Sengoku. This laser light with another sweep, another lightning iron sand dragon was cut in half. Perusalino, has the 2 poles of stillness disappeared? Sengoku called. Joha Great Eruption. Ice Age. At the same time, the force of magma and ice collided, and the 5 lightning iron sands that continuously attacked Garp burst the ice. It turned out that when Yuri and Sengoku Garp were fighting, the static domain of the 2 poles disappeared due to exhaustion of power. After all, that is the ability that has already been displayed. Without the power of Yuri's follow-up, once the power of the magnetic field is exhausted, the natural realm will naturally disappear. Has the 2-pole static domain disappeared? But my goal has also been achieved, Yuri said lightly. Not good, Nico Robin. Crane exclaimed at this moment. While Crane exclaimed, Robin's seastone handcuffs fell and pulled down. It turned out that it was time to fight Sengoku Garp. Yuri controlled this iron sand and came to the execution finger silently. Because Yuri controlled the thunder and lightning iron sand dragon to fight, the iron sand dragon was blasted by Sengoku from time to time, causing the iron sand to fly all over the sky, so no one noticed that a stream of iron sand silently entered into the hands of Seastone that held Robin. These iron sands became a key under Yuri's control and easily opened Robin's Seastone hand, and Robin was free immediately. It was calculated, Sengoku said gloomily. The Seastone mirror was unlocked, Robin was free immediately, he was about to jump off the execution stage and meet Yuri, but at this moment, a figure flashed and one stood in front of Robin. This person is the Chief Staff Officer of Naval Headquarters.
Just now, Suru's attention was all on the battle between Sengoku Garp and Yuri, so he didn't see Yuri's quietly controlling the iron sand.
By the time I noticed it, it was too late. I will never let you go today. Crane knew that Robin should never be allowed to leave at this time, otherwise Marine would be really in trouble. Why? Why did you Marine keep refusing to let me go and have to die? Can you Marine deprive others of the right to survive like this? Robin asked, looking at the Crane. Hearing Robin's words, Suru was also stunned. Maybe you feel very innocent, but because of the situation of the sea, in order to get rid of the 4 emperors Gabriel Yuri, you and Gabriel Yuri must be completely left here today. Suru said. I won't be as you wish. Robin said firmly, crossed his hands, 6 flowers. Immediately, 6 arms grew out of the crane's body, and on the 6 arms, armament haki was condensed. Facing Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral, Marines Chief Staff Officer. These female Marines who have been well known in the sea for a long time, Robin didn't dare to neglect at all, and used armament haki directly. Is the flower fruit capable? Xihe was not surprised to see the arms growing out of her body. She had seen Robin's information a long time ago and knew Robin's abilities. The flower fruit ability is actually very good. If used well, it will have a strong effect, especially for people like Robin who cultivated armament haki. It's a pity that Robin met the nemesis today. Crane has the ability to wash fruits. People and even objects she touches will be washed, and her whole body and mind will be washed. It hangs softly on the drying rack like clothes, and even forgets to resist. The arms of this wreath of fruits grew out of her body. She didn't need to move, and directly activated the ability to wash the fruits. Immediately, these arms were all washed thoroughly like clothes, and hung on the drying rack softly, and then melted. Make a piece of petals disappear. But fortunately, the ability to wash fruits is not as good as a toy fruit, and it directly affects the body through the flowering arm. Is this the ability to wash fruits? But even so, Robin was very jealous of Crane. Old man, it's also Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral anyway. With me here, I will never let you leave this execution platform. Crane said he was about to kill Robin, but at this moment, a large amount of iron sand rushed from under the execution stage. Coming up, it cut open the execution platform instantly like a knife, and blocked the crane at the same time. Seeing this, Crane had to fly away from the execution platform in a flash. The iron sand rolled up Robin and flew towards the sky. Oh knight, facing so many of us, and thinking about it, you really deserve to be 4 emperors. Have you been kicked down by the light? Kizaru kicked towards Yuri with a flickering light. The Buddha slammed. Iron Fist. Joha Great Eruption. Ice Age. At the same time, Sengoku Garp and others also besieged Yuri from all directions. His, Super God Luo Tianzheng. Yuri yelled, and the terrifying repulsion exploded from him again. Everyone's attacks stopped, and the next few people who were almost at the same time were all shaken out. This trick again, it's such a terrifying repulsion, I can't resist it at all. Being repelled, there seems to be no way to stop him. Sengoku secretly cried out because he was rejected. The repulsion of the super god Luo Tianzheng is too strong. Even if Sengoku Garp and others are the strongest in the world, there is still no way to resist his repulsion, and one by one is rejected and flies out far away. With their strength, although such a violent repulsion, but it still cannot hurt them. But so far been repelled flies away, they had no way to stop Yuri and Robin convergence, which means that this plan failed. After Sengoku, who was repelled, in front of Yuri's no one blocked, the foot of that body quickly toward Robin assured flying away. When Robin and seeing to confluence, suddenly out of thin air at this time a man flashed in front of Yuri. Who is this man? It is how arise. Before he appeared in front of himself, that he was not at all found in his presence. And good fast, so fast, definitely not from mediocrity, why they have not heard of it, the original did not see such a presence. Yuri's face a look of surprise. In the shocked eyes, come Yuri knife stabbed in the chest. Let all shocked that the mystery man's knife, cut easily even polar opposite of Yuri body force field. Yuri powerful force field opposite poles like tofu is generally a pierced him. In Yuri incredible eyes, Yuri knife from piercing the abdomen, thrusts from behind. Yuri Robin exclaimed pale, completely staggering sudden occurrence. Punctured. Whether it is outside in the video, or video, everyone exclaimed again. Gabriel Yuri was pierced? Who is this man? Hey, I've never heard of such a person. Make Marine extremely difficult, playing Sengoku Garp Marine Admiral Retreat of the 4 Emperors Gabriel Yuri, even by his so easily pierced. Well, this mysterious person powerful what is the origin? All shocked wondering, at the same time mysterious man is also exposed elation on his face. Shit 4 emperors, pierced by virtue of their fruit, and let your defense strong again, will be easily pierced themselves. Just proud of the mystery man, when suddenly his hand was Wojian Yuri grabbed. Mystery man struggling want to hand and sword drawn back, but found temporary pumping back. Shinra Day's levy, day collapse. At this time Yuri punch shot. The punch on this unparalleled cohesion repulsion, played terrible moment of repulsion explode. In this fist immediately, all twisted, destruction, collapse. In the eyes of all very mysterious, a handsome to the four emperors Yuri a mysterious and cool people at the moment Jay Yaquan off the hook without any resistance, blood splattered off. Yuri, Robin jumps down, anxious and hurried headlong to hold on Yuri's side, watching the sword inserted in his body, his face anxious color. When Yuri palm shoot in Robin's body, Robin instantly disappeared in front of everyone. World government do this account sooner or later I'll find you get back, it's time to leave, you send a gift, thank you for your hospitality before leaving the Poles fishin', wrath. Yuri shouted mouth bleeding. Oh, hurry up to stop him. Sengoku, whose face became pale, frantic rushing toward Yuri, want to stop Yuri. Too late, though wrath while this is not the heyday of power, but almost is enough. Yuri said sneer. At the same time Yuri double haul opened, a slowly rotating planet in between his palms. After saying, Yuri whole person quietly disappeared, self-expulsion. At the same time the planet rocket generous light. Then unparalleled terrorist forces explode, resulting in the destruction of all of the shockwave, burning and more envelop the entire marine, everything will be destroyed. Here, where? Yuri walked slowly in a dense forest. Now his body is extremely weak, and his face is pale because of excessive bleeding. Fortunately, the sword that pierced his body had been pulled out, the wound had undergone some simple treatment, and the blood had stopped, there was no danger anymore. That mysterious guy almost killed him with that knife. Fortunately, at the moment of crisis, Yuri gave way a bit, so the knife didn't directly hit the point. Otherwise, Yuri would really be sorrowful now. That mysterious man, Yuri knows the origin of the other party even thinking about it. In this world, apart from the world government, who would have such a mysterious powerhouse? Moreover, the other party's hidden secret technique and the speed of movement gave Yuri a very familiar feeling. Isn't this the method of CP? It's just that this mysterious man's methods are many times better than those CPS and even CPUS. Asshole, sooner or later, you will have to find the world government. I don't know how Robin is now, Yuri said angrily. While speaking, Yuri suddenly smelled an alluring fragrance. As soon as he smelled this alluring smell, Yuri's stomach groaned. Yuri has a feeling of hunger, so he speeds up and walks towards the tempting taste. Yuri pulled away a bunch of branches, suddenly his eyes lit up, and all kinds of delicious food caught in his eyes. The hunger in the stomach, however, Yuri didn't care about anything anymore, just grabbed the delicious food and ate it. Lee's appetite is not very big, but because of exercise, I usually eat 3 people's food for each meal. But at this time, Yuri seemed to never have enough to eat. After eating the food for 3 people, he didn't feel full at all, and continued to eat frantically. 10 servings, 100 servings, 1,000 servings. Yuri didn't know how much he had eaten. When he recovered, his body had become a big fat man. But there is still a fire in my eyes that wants to eat everything. At this moment, suddenly the island shook. I saw the island closed like petals. There was a big mouth in the center of the island. As the island closed, all the animals and plants on the island fell into the big mouth. Yuri controls this gravity and sits in the air out of thin air. At this time, he suddenly realized that he had arrived at Boeing Islands. Boeing Islands, stomach barren, or barren of the stomach, is an island-like carnivorous plant. The temptation forest in the depths of the island is full of plants with attractive food, and the aroma can attract sea beasts, sea kings. In the center of the island is the mouth of the barren of stomach. When eating, he opens his mouth and closes the petals to let the prey fall into the mouth. From the original work, the food of temptation forest is very nutritious and very easy to digest. It can make people eat all the time, and it won't die. Usopp can easily eat into a big fat man. Yuri is also now. These foods look like a variety of foods, but they are actually some plants with high nutrition, which can be easily digested, so that people and animals can get rich nutrition and grow meat for the barren of the stomach to swallow. Why didn't I think about it before? This is my ideal place for cultivation. If I come here early, I don't need to spend so much effort to think of various ways to practice. With this, I might be able to break through what was impossible before. Degree. Yuri's eyes lit up when he saw it. At the same time, thunder and lightning flashed on his body, constantly stimulating the cells of the body, and constantly training his cells. In a blink of an eye, with the tempering of thunder and lightning, Yuri's fat body slowly disappeared, and quickly returned to normal levels. Yuri has been trying to use the thunderbolt body for this period of time. But the thunder and lightning that often appears in novels is actually not that easy. For this reason, Yuri even experimented with a large number of prisoners, but the results of the experiment failed. Yuri even thinks that what thunder and lightning exercise is just nonsense, just whimsical thinking. Stimulating the body with thunder and lightning often causes great damage to the body, and cannot play the role of exercise. Even if there is a little effect, compared with the damage to the body, it is completely outweighed by the loss. Originally, Yuri wanted to give up, but after the Robin incident appeared, Yuri needed strength and had to step up research. For this reason, he electrocuted dozens of prisoners with good strength alive. Even experiment with Doflamingo in the end, through continuous use, the lightning frequency that can be exercised by lightning is finally developed. Yuri calls it thunder and lightning breathing method. There are 3 layers of thunderbolt breathing method. The first layer tempers muscle cells, the second layer tempers the bones, and the third stimulates the internal organs and improves blood flow. However, the premise of using thunderbolt breathing method is to have enough nutrition to keep up. Especially the tempering of the first layer of muscle cells requires a lot of nutritional supplements, otherwise it is difficult to achieve the desired effect. This again involves the issue of eating, but it can also be replaced with a lot of medicinal materials. Before going to naval headquarters, Yuri used thunder and lightning breathing method to exercise, consumed a lot of precious medicinal materials, and doubled his body. It is precisely in this way that Yuri can use all kinds of power in the naval headquarters. The body is penetrated by a sword and can still fight. Of course it is also because of this. Of course it is also because there are still many medicinal materials in the body that have not been digested. However, the use of medicinal materials for exercise is not a long-term solution. It is a 3-point poisonous medicine. If you take too many medicinal materials that are tonic, it will also cause great side effects on the body. Moreover, the human body is adaptable to medicines, and medicines will become more and more effective on Yuri. But now the delicacy of Temptation Forest is different. It has no side effects and no resistance. The most important thing is that it is extremely delicious, can arouse people's infinite appetite, so that a small person can continue to eat, and the body can easily absorb the nutrients of these foods. There is no more ideal training food than this. With these delicacies, even if there is no thunder and lightning breathing method, Yuri can become stronger through his own exercise. So Yuri said how he hadn't thought of this long ago. Yuri decided that he would stay here to train for a while. New World, Garo City Lord's Mansion. Brew, the phone worm rang. Hello. Beeg caught the phone worm. It's me. There was a voice on the phone. Hey, Captain, if it wasn't for your life paper, I would think that something happened to you, Beeg said. The phone worm was stunned, so I'm just letting you know now. By the way, is there news about Robin? Yuri said. Robin, she's okay, she has already called back. She happened to be teleported to Dress Rosa by you, and someone from the Ministry of Government has already sent someone to pick it up. That's good. Yuri was also relieved to hear that Robin was okay. He was afraid of driving Robin directly to the sea. She is demon fruit power. It would be extremely dangerous if she fell to the sea. If it weren't for the crisis at the time, Yuri would really not dare to use her to expel her, and the mysterious person would mess up all Yuri's plans. By the way, Captain, you were really famous this time, and you pierced the sky. The entire naval headquarters was erased from the map by your last move. Marine has suffered a heavy loss. Beeg smiled, said. Is it just that suffered a heavy loss? It seems that many people have survived, right? After all, that anger is incomplete, and the power is less than 1/10 of the strongest. Yuri was taken aback and said. Someone can survive that trick. Yuri had expected it early. At that time, Yuri had already gone through a fierce battle, and there was not much physical strength left, and when he used that move, he was seriously injured. The second is that there are 3 major Logia admirals such as Sakazuki in Marine. Skyrath attacks are fatal to Sengoku Garp, but for Sakazuki and others who can be elemental, it is not so fatal. Of course, it is not completely ineffective, and energy attacks can also harm them. But after hearing Yuri's words, Beeg came with an open mouth. Burning the entire naval headquarters Malin from the map is just an incomplete move, and its power is less than 1/10. If Marine heard this, his mouth would fall off without being scared. There are indeed many people who survived. If the Lord is Marine Marshal Sengoku, and the hero Garp desperately rescued a few people, and Marine Admiral also managed to survive, but afterwards they were all seriously injured. I haven't been sober yet. Now the entire Marine is paralyzed. The former Marine Marshal, and now the World Government Commander-in-Chief Kong, had to stand up again to preside over Marine. Oh, by the way, it is said that some people in Shichibukai have survived, Beeg said. Is anyone in Shichibukai still alive? It's a bit of a surprise. What about the family? Shichibukai Yuri didn't care anymore. Thanks to your wrath, no one dared to beat Gabriel's idea now. At least no one dared to bear the beard of the Gabriel dynasty until your death was confirmed. This time, everyone was frightened. Biggs said with a smile. This matter will start from Marine's World live broadcast. There is a live video. Everyone can see with their own eyes Yuri's horror of anger that day. It exploded, the scene of destroying everything. Although this kind of scene also flashed in the video, the phone worm was also destroyed by the explosion in the first time. However, as long as someone with a little bit of strength and intelligence, please feel free to inquire, you will know that Naval Headquarters Malin Fendo has been completely erased from the map. And how could the newspaper not report such a big thing, so even ordinary civilians knew it? Yuri erased the entire Naval Headquarters from the map with one move. This is the sacred Naval Headquarters that destroys the entire Naval Headquarters in one blow under all eyes. With that blow, the officers of Naval Headquarters were almost wiped out. That blow left the powerful Marshal Marine in the natural disaster like Marine Admiral in a coma. That blow caused Marine's paralysis. Who dares to block the beard of the Gabriel dynasty now? It's Captain. How is your situation? I heard that you were stabbed by a mysterious man. Big asked nervously. G now doesn't like to assassinate the boss like he did in his previous life. What's more, he knew that the entire Gabriel dynasty was based on Yuri. Don't look at the Gabriel dynasty now swallowing the Garu kingdom, and suddenly becoming New World as a top power. But if there is no Yuri, the monsters will be swallowed by the monsters in the blink of an eye. Without Yuri, he would pack his things and escape for his life as soon as possible. He can't hold back such a huge force. It's okay, the injury is almost healed now, but I will not go back during this time. I found an interesting opponent. I will practice here for a while. By the way, let Bonus and the others use their lives to find me and let them take care of me. Qianlongying also brought over, Yuri said. Do you want to take Qianlong camp? Biggs said in surprise. The potential camp is a camp set up by Yuri in Gabriel City. With more and more people in Gabriel, Yuri opened many schools. After swallowing the Garu kingdom, many schools were also opened. Yuri clearly understands that it is not easy to conquer a country, and it is extremely difficult to conquer a nation, especially if they are still a pirate group. Only by conquering them in culture, belief, and politics, and brainwashing them, can they be regarded as truly ruling Garu. Otherwise, as long as their pirates are in a little situation, Garu will rebel. Even if they have cleaned up a lot this time, there will still be many rebels hidden in the dark. Because careerists, people whose lives are unsatisfactory, will never disappear. So Yuri has established a large number of schools, and even provides free education, teaches them, brainwashes them. I believe that in a few years, when these students grow up, the whole of Garu will recognize the Giadi dynasty from the heart. At that time, it will not be easy for even foreign forces to overthrow Giadi Wangchao Lai. In addition, Yuri also established a large number of orphanages to adopt orphans. Yuri educates and trains these orphans. They will be the most loyal supporters of the Gabriel pirates. Yuri collected the better ones among them and set up a Qianlong camp for rigorous training. Qianlongying is Gabriel's reserve force, Marie Joy. In one ward, Sengoku was on the bed with a serious face, listening to a report from a marine soldier. At this moment, an old man with a very strong body walked in. The commander, seeing the old man came in, Sengoku wanted to sit up from the hospital bed. Sit, don't get up, Sengoku. It was the army commander Kong who came. Commander, I lived up to your expectations. Sengoku lowered his head and said, his face full of guilt. Needless to say, who would have thought that Gabriel Yuri had such a terrifying power? We underestimated that monster. He is a more terrifying monster than Whitebeard. You have done very well, Kong said. No, the responsibility for this matter lies with me. It is I who ruined 100,000 marine elites, dozens of naval headquarters vice admiral, and even cranes. If I did not leave the execution platform, I did not ask Gabriel Yuri to rescue Nico Robin. Go, then the result may be different. I lost Marine's prestige and ruined Marine's future, Sengoku said ashamed. Those 100,000 Marines are the elite of Marine, and the backbone of Marine's future and present. In this battle, the loss of 100,000 Marine elites means the loss of the backbone of the future and present Marine. At the same time, the death of dozens of naval headquarters vice admiral means the loss of the Marine high-level power.
Don't underestimate naval headquarters vice admiral. In fact, 90% of Marine's pirates are captured by Marine vice admiral.
Marine Admiral is actually only responsible for catching some difficult pirates, guarding naval headquarters, or protecting celestial dragons. It can be said that Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral is actually the main force to suppress the sea. Although Marine Admiral is strong, but the number of people is too small, even if they are strong, there is no way to suppress the entire sea. Hearing what Sengoku said, Kong was silent for a while. In the Battle of Naval Headquarters, Sengoku did make mistakes, but this war was actually doomed from the beginning. Gabriel Yuri, who has the power to destroy the entire Marin Fender in one fell swoop, shouldn't provoke such a monster from the beginning. Fighting Gabriel Yuri was the decision of 5 elders, and Sengoku had no way to refuse. What's more, at the beginning, who would have thought that gathering Marine Marshal Sengoku, Marine Hero Garp, Marine 3 Admiral, 7 Warlords of the Sea, dozens of Naval Headquarters Vice Admiral, 100,000 Marine Elite, will lose in the end. And the defeat was so miserable, it was in the hands of one person. But Sengoku must recite this responsibility because he is Marshal Marine. Don't blame yourself too much, things are not as bad as you think, Kong said. Hearing Kong's words, Sengoku couldn't help but looked at Kong in surprise. Although our Marine was defeated in that battle, through the video, the entire sea also saw the strength of our Marine. Sakazuki and the others fully demonstrated the horror of Marine's highest combat power. The natural disaster-like power deterred everyone, and you fell into a coma. During this period of time, I presided over the work of Marine. During this period of time, I fully felt the changes in the attitudes of various countries to our Marine. And during this period, the number of new pirates going out to sea has decreased significantly, and the pirates on the sea it's not so arrogant anymore, so you didn't lose the prestige of Marine, but passed this battle, which greatly enhanced Marine's prestige, Kong said. Hearing Kong's words, Sengoku's face showed a slightly surprised look. This is an accident. It seems that we have shown too little of Marine's power before, or too little to show the power of Marine to the world like this. In the future, we may be able to do more exercises like this for the whole world to enhance Marine's prestige, Sengoku said thoughtfully. Then Sengoku said seriously, but this is only for a while. Marine's backbone and high-level strength are now lost. With the current strength, the pirates will soon see Marine's weakness. On this point, there is also a solution. 5 Elders has decided to recruit troops from all over the world, and Marine's military expenditure will increase tenfold this year, Kong said. It seems that 5 Elders also feels Gabriel Yuri's pressure, Sengoku said. Get well soon. Sengoku, Marine still has a difficult task waiting for you to do, Kong said. Yes. Sengoku said, by the way, Master, how about Gabriel Yuri and the Gabriel Pirates? Sengoku asked. He is most concerned about Gabriel Yuri's situation now. He remembers that Gabriel Yuri was pierced by CP0's instructor at the end. 2 news, 1 good link. The good news is that Gabriel Yuri has not returned to the Gabriel dynasty so far, and the bad news is that Gabriel Yuri should be alive. The Gabriel dynasty showed Gabriel Yuri's life paper to prove that he is alive and well. And Gabriel Yuri and Gabriel dynasty talked on the phone a few days ago, and then the Asuras of the Gabriel pirates left with a group of people. It seems to be looking for Gabriel Yuri, Kong said. He didn't die, but he didn't return to the Gabriel dynasty, and asked the Shura people to find him. What is Gabriel Yuri doing? Do you know where he is now? Sengoku asked. I don't know. What 5 Elders means is that I can no longer provoke Gabriel Yuri now, Kong said. With Gabriel Yuri's ability, no matter where he is, he can easily go back, but he wants the Shura people to find him. Then is there a possibility that he has suffered a very serious injury, or even an injury that cannot be recovered? Greatly affect his combat effectiveness, Sengoku said. Hearing Sengoku's words, Kong's eyes lit up. This is indeed very possible, but even so, we can't provoke Gabriel Yuri anymore. 5 Elders has already ordered that in the future, world government personnel, including Marine, must avoid Gabriel Yuri, even if they encounter Gabriel on a mission. Yuri can also give up and will not be held accountable. The world government cannot bear Gabriel Yuri's anger, Kong said. Hearing Kong's words, Sengoku's face was also extremely gloomy. He fully understands the idea of world government 5 Elders. Gabriel Yuri's move of Skywrath is really terrifying. 5 Elders are all afraid that Yuri will go to Marie Joyce to release a Skywrath, and then the entire world government will be gone. Don't think too much. 5 Elders have their own considerations, and according to 5 Elders analysis, Gabriel Yuri's bipolar fission released at Naval Headquarters, Skywrath, is not its strongest power. If Gabriel Yuri is not scrupulous about Robin, at the beginning unleash this trick directly, with the true power of this attack. I am afraid that none of you have any chance of survival, that is to say, he is fully capable of destroying all the power of naval headquarters, so definitely don't provoke him. Kong said. 2. Captain. What are you? Relying on Yuri's life paper, Bonus and others came to Boeing Islands and saw Yuri. But when they saw the image of Yuri, all of them showed surprise and weird looks. I saw that Yuri now looks like a 300 to 400-year-old fat man eating desperately, which really subverts their three views on Yuri. You guys wait a moment. Yuri said, thunder and lightning breathing method. A thunder-electric flame appeared from Yuri's whole body. Under the stimulation of thunder and lightning, the obesity of the whole body quickly disappeared, and it returned to its original appearance in a blink of an eye. Seeing this situation, everyone opened their mouths in surprise. Haha. I really deserve to be the captain, I don't know what to say anymore. Bonus said with a faint smile. That is, or how can I say it is our captain, this is the monster that New World fears. Ashby said. The others also laughed. It's all here. Yuri said with a smile and looked at the crowd. Captain, do you want us to come? Bonus said, looking around suspiciously. This is the Boeing Islands. In fact, it is a huge plant called the Baron of Stomach. Yuri told the Baron of Stomach in the Temptation Forest to Bonus and others. No wonder, the captain wants us to bring the Qianlong group here. This is really a treasure place for cultivation. Bonus and others also said with bright eyes. From today, the Boeing Islands will be the training base of our Gabriel pirates. The Gabriel dynasty, the Gabriel pirates will become larger and larger, and will even unify the New World in the future, so it is not just me, but you also have to become stronger. That's fine, you have to support the backbone of the Gabriel pirates of the Gabriel dynasty. Unify New World. Haha, this is going to fight other 4 emperors. It's not just a battle to unify the New World. Sure enough, it's something the captain will do. That is, this is our captain. Hearing Yuri's words, the people of Bonus also opened their mouths in surprise. To unify the New World, this is the first time that Yuri has officially expressed such ambitions. Bonus was inexplicably horrified when he listened. At the same time, the mood is surging. If it's Yuri, maybe it can be done. Unifying the entire New World is exciting to think about. At that time I will establish a great dynasty covering the entire New World, don't hold me back, Yuri said. Don't worry, Captain, when will we hold you back? It's because you run too fast that I can't keep up. The captain is a monster. Everyone said with a smile. It doesn't matter if you hold back, just don't forget to keep up. This is the capital for you to keep up, Yuri said with a smile. At the same time, in New World, because Yuri is still alive, but has not returned to the Gabriel dynasty. And after a phone call from Yuri, Bonus and others took people to meet Yuri. This made everyone wonder whether Yuri was making any big moves, and the world government became nervous. But as time passed, there was no movement in the sea. Various speculations can't help but appear. Some of them, like Sengoku, doubted whether Yuri was hit hard and his strength was greatly reduced. It's not impossible, because Gabriel Yuri was pierced by the world government's CP sword at the time, Perispero said. One sword pierces the heart. If this is an ordinary person, it is absolutely bound to die. Even if it is 4 Emperors Yuri, his body is certain to be severely injured, and it depends on whether he can recover. It's just an ordinary person, Daifuku said. Indeed, Gabriel Yuri's strength is all in his devil fruit, and his physique is not comparable to his mother, Owen said. After he was pierced by a sword, he was able to release polar fission, Skywrath, and such a terrifying attack, indicating that the injury was not as serious as we thought. Keita Curry frowned. It can't be ruled out that Gabriel Yuri is supporting it. Perhaps it may be that there are side effects of that move. It is not surprising that there are any side effects of such a horrible move, Daifuku said. But now things are a bit embarrassing. What should we do? If Gabriel Yuri is still alive and undamaged, then needless to say, we are not willing to provoke such a monster. But if he is seriously injured, should we take the opportunity to make up the last cut? Otherwise we may always be crushed by him in New World in the future, Perispero said. Hearing what Perispero said, everyone in the Charlotte family fell silent. Mama, what anxious. Now it is not us who should be the most anxious. You must know that the world government and Gabriel Yuri have an indelible hatred. You would think that Gabriel Yuri might be seriously injured. How could the world government not expect them? Now I am very scared. When will Gabriel Yuri go to Marie Joyce to perform a bipolar fission? Skywrath, If you know that Gabriel Yuri may have a problem with his strength, the world government will not let this opportunity go. Big Mom said. As Big Mom said, World Government 5 Elders is also discussing this matter. You need to be more cautious about this matter. After all, Gabriel Yuri's anger is too much a threat to the world government. If you can't provoke him, you should not provoke him. You should be cautious. Even if we ask Master Yi to erase him, this Gabriel Yuri might not be able to succeed. Furthermore, according to analysis, the Skywrath that Gabriel Yuri used in Marin Fender should not be in its complete state. The real Skywrath may be more terrifying than that blow. If he uses it in Marie Joy's, even if we have it, protective measures will definitely be able to block his attack. It's just human power. After a few decades, it will be just a pile of dead bones. As long as we last for decades, it will be fine. But we can't let it go. After all, we have provoked the monster. If he is really hit hard as we guessed, maybe we still have a chance to get rid of him. The problem now is that everything is speculation. You can try it out. The Gabriel dynasty is there, and we can do some testing to force Gabriel Yuri out. We can't come blatantly, but we can put pressure on the Canadian Emperor through various channels, so that we can still do it. Agree. Yes, but it's more secretive. Agree. That's it. Although Gabriel Yuri's strength is very strong, the world government is not completely incapable of coping with it, when necessary. Robin has clearly felt pressure from many sources recently. After being expelled by Yuri from naval headquarters, Robin happened to land in Reds Rosa. After Reds Rosa became a vassal of Kadi Empire, Robin and King Liku also had a lot of contact. Through King Liku, Robin easily got in touch with Kadi Empire, and then the Ministry of Government immediately sent someone to pick Robin back. The Gabriel dynasty. Robin returned to the city of Gabriel to preside over the government affairs of the Gabriel dynasty. It was very smooth at the beginning, because the Gabriel dynasty has just cleaned out most of the resistance, and the killings are rolling. No one dares to violate the Gabriel dynasty's decree. Coupled with the deterrence of Yuri and the deterrence of Skywrath, no one dared to stop the deterrence of Jiadi Wangchao Lai. But in recent days Robin obviously felt that the atmosphere was a bit wrong. First of all, rumors that Yuri did not come back may have been seriously injured or even died. Then the decree issued began to have inexplicable resistance. Not only on the island, but also on the outside. Garu Island is an island with extremely rich ore production. Naturally, such a large amount of production cannot be used by the whole island, and a large part of it will be exported. Because of the chaos of New World, the ore of Garu Island is very popular. Even when the Gabriel pirates first ruled Garu Island, orders continued. After the establishment of Emperor Dynasty Lai, Garu Island also set up many factories to process ores and sell them. Because the products are cheap and beautiful, the sales situation is excellent, and they have earned a lot of Baileys. But during this period of time, orders from all over the country suddenly dropped one after another, or even stopped. Ore is the pillar industry of Garu Island. Once there is a problem with the export of ore, Garu Island immediately becomes unrest. At the same time, the agriculture of Solomon Island also began to export during this period. Some time ago, I had negotiated deals with businessmen in some countries, but suddenly there was no news from the other party, and the negotiated orders were gone. Coupled with the news that Yuri is missing, maybe seriously injured, or even died, the entire Canadian Emperor Chao Lai began to panic. Many civilians, driven by some people, came to the Gabriel City Administration Department and asked the Administration Department to inform them of the situation of the Emperor Yuri, or ask Yuri to come forward and explain. But these things are still easy to deal with. Now the Gabriel Pirates has a strong control in the Gabriel dynasty, and no one in the country can resist them for a long time. What's more, I have just experienced the cleansing, and everyone is still in fear. Even some people with ambitions are afraid that this will lead the snake out of the hole again. The last incident really frightened them. So after Robin used some strategies, the commotion soon subsided. But the internal pressure calmed down, and external pressure came again. During this period of time, the world government used all human and material resources to suppress and test the Gabriel dynasty, thus testing Yuri. After knowing about Big Mom and Kaido, they had the same thoughts. Not only is the world government afraid of Yuri's wrath, they are also afraid of it. Even people all over the world are scared and angry in fear. That is a force that can never be resisted, like a nuclear bomb. Everyone was afraid that Yuri would suddenly come at their place one day. When they knew that the world government was testing the Gabriel dynasty, Big Mom and Kaido had the same thoughts. They also wanted to know Yuri's situation. Although they do not have the influence of the world government in various countries, they have their methods. First, they broke their orders with Guru City, and then drove some small pirates from New World to rob Guru City's delivery ship. He even directly threatened those countries and people that did business with the Canadian Emperor Chow Lai by force. In just a few days, the Gabriel dynasty and the outside world seemed to be completely disconnected. Robin had to call Yuri again to explain the situation. They just want to test my situation, to see if I am injured, whether my strength is damaged, whether I can use Skywrath again, that's what they want. Yuri said with a smile. Yuri, don't mess around. Now the whole world is terrified of your anger. If you mess around, it will only intensify their fear. Then they will treat you like a demon. Not good, Robin said anxiously. It is good to be fearful, but once a limit is passed and people are afraid of you, they will be treated as a public enemy of mankind, standing on the opposite side of everyone, which is very detrimental to the development of the Gabriel dynasty. I know better than you that strategic weapons have the most deterrent effect only before they are launched. I just want to have a good chat with the 5 old men of the world government, and also take revenge on the last time by the way, Yuri said. Holy Land Marie Joyce. I don't know if it is because of the tense sea situation or what, the guard on Marie Joyce is much stricter than before. A large number of guards patrolled Marie Joyce. At this time, a figure fell from the sky, hitting the ground heavily, cracking the ground inch by inch. Who is it? This is the sacred place Marie Joyce, the residence of celestial dragons, who dare to be presumptuous here. The guards around met, and surrounded them one by one, pointing their spears at the people who came and said. Interesting, there are still people who dare to point a gun at me. I admit that you are very courageous, but dare to point a gun at me, which is equivalent to a challenge to me. Can I be treated as if I have never seen it before, in front of the Magneto throne? The faint voice of the people in the smoke preached. As this person's words just fell, everyone around them felt a terrifying gravity suddenly press on them. The sudden appearance of terrifying gravity pressed them to the ground, and even the ground cracked inch by inch due to the terrifying gravity. What's the matter? This is the devil fruit ability. Is gravity fruit ability? It's so terrible gravity, I can't move under pressure. This gravity is so strange. It's okay to be lying on the ground. If you want to get up, the gravity suddenly increases several times. It doesn't make people get up at all. Who is this guy? The guards looked into the smoke in shock and said. This force of gravity seems to be deliberately asking them to go down. Instead, he was pressed down on the ground, and the gravity he was bearing was actually not very great, but he just couldn't get up at all. It was also because of gravity that the smoke completely disappeared, and finally everyone could clearly see who the person came. At this glance, everyone opened their mouths in surprise. 4 emperors, Gabriel Yuri, Heaven's Fury, Magnetic Emperor. It turned out to be him. When the guards saw the incoming people clearly, their faces all showed a look of astonishment. Both eyes almost fell out. 4 emperors Gabriel Yuri of New World. Not long ago, a blow destroyed the entire terrifying existence of Marin Fender. What is he doing on Marie Joyce now? Is it to destroy Marie Joyce? Use that Skywrath? Thinking of everyone here, cold sweat came out on their foreheads. They all seem to know me, but if you know me and dare to aim weapons at me, you are very courageous. The person here is Yuri. Hearing Yuri's words, everyone's faces showed even more weeping expressions. If you know that the person who came is Yuri, even if you give them 10 courage, they will not dare to use weapons at him. Even 5 elders has given orders to avoid Gabriel Yuri immediately. Even if there is a task, you can give up the task without blaming it. While they were smiling bitterly, Yuri walked towards them slowly. As Yuri walked in, everyone felt that the gravity on his body became heavier, and everyone showed a look of fear, thinking that this is over, are they going to die? But death didn't accompany them. Yuri walked past them lightly. The terrifying pressure only spit out blood from him, but didn't kill them. Everyone showed the look of the rest of their lives. What, Gabriel Yuri is here? This guy actually went directly to Marie Joyce. Is Gabriel Yuri going to attack Maria? Sengoku and others were surprised when they heard the report from their subordinate Marine, and at the same time they quickly stood up and walked outside. Because Malin Fendo was erased, Sengoku had to choose another place for naval headquarters. Of course, even if naval headquarters moves, it is impossible to move to Marie Joyce. It's just that the naval headquarters address has not been selected yet, so Sengoku and others can only work on Marie Joyce temporarily. When Sengoku and others came out to take a look, only one person came slowly towards this side. The speed of the people coming is not hurried or slow, and they walk in grimly. There was an invisible and terrifying gravity beside him, and the ground around him broke apart. The soldiers of the world government near him were all pressed on the ground by this terrifying gravity, struggling one by one, but the more they struggled, the greater the gravity, and in the end, let them struggle, they were still crushed heavily, immobile on the ground. Seeing him walking slowly all the way, no one could stand firmly in front of him. Needless to say, it was Yuri who made the Marines gritted their teeth, but dared not speak. Yuri walked slowly, and as he approached, the gravity around him became stronger and stronger. When Yuri stood up to the strength in front of them, the surrounding gravity was already so strong that ordinary people could never bear it. Or it should be said that it is gravity, which is due to the heavy pressure formed by strong gravity. However, although the pressure is strong, Sengoku and others are strong in the world, so this pressure is not difficult for them. But even so they are still very surprised. Although this kind of pressure is of no use to them, it is difficult for people below Vice Admiral to bear it, and Vice Admiral level Marines cannot withstand this pressure for a long time. Even with their strength, although it is usually fine, but once they are fighting, they will be affected. But why haven't I seen Yuri use this ability before? Could it be that Yuri's strength has become stronger again? Or what other abilities have been developed? In fact, this trick has existed a long time ago. This is also the simplest application of gravity. Devil Fruit can naturally use it after awakening. But in the past, Yuri had the energy to waste such tricks? This trick is tasteless for Yuri. Against strong players of the same level, it can only play a role in limiting the opponent's speed, and the distance cannot be too far. But when it comes to speed, he has always been no weaker than others, and there is no need to waste energy and physical strength in this aspect. As for people who are weaker than him, he has always been a Shenluo Tianzheng to clear the field, or use iron sand to solve it, which can save effort. With his physical and mental strength at the time, there was no way to use such extravagant abilities. Now it's different. After a period of exercise on the Boeing Islands, Yuri's physical fitness has risen several times. With the rise of physique, the continuous practice of thunder and lightning breathing method, his spirit also greatly improved. So now he can finally be extravagant, wasting some physical strength and energy to pretend to be forced. The female is late, and is getting more and more domineering, Gabriel Yuri, Peluzolino said. AAA, I am 4 emperors. Isn't it natural to be overbearing? I was surprised to see you. You actually survived. It seems that my gift was not big enough last time. I originally wanted to use that trick. I sent you to hell to play, so I can blame your CPO guy. His cut made me lose my standard. How about it? Do you want to make up the journey to hell today? I promise to let each of you be able to go. Hell play. Yuri said with a faint smile. Hearing Yuri's words, cold sweat broke out on the foreheads of everyone present. Only then did I realize that the man in front of him is not good to provoke, and now there is no Nico Robin restriction. If he comes here directly with the wrath of heaven, the consequences will be disastrous. This time I won't let you do whatever you want, Gabriel Yuri, Sakazuki said with a sneer. People who almost died are not qualified to say such things, Yuri said lightly. You. Sakazuki, 4 emperors Gabriel Yuri. I don't know what you do as 4 emperors, what are you doing in Marie Joy's? At this time, a voice sounded. I saw a man in a bald kimono holding a long sword slowly walking out. This person is one of 5 elders. Are you the only 5 old men? Don't you want to know if I have received a serious injury? So here I am. Calculate the last time by the way, Yuri said lightly. Hearing Yuri's words, 5 elders who held the sword also frowned. Afterwards, do you want to use that trick to heaven's wrath? Thinking of this, 5 elders pressed his hand on the sword and instantly locked Yuri with a trace of energy. I'm sorry about what happened last time, but at the time we were on the opposite side, a little offense is inevitable, but now the world government wants to be with the Gabriel pirates. No, it should be the Gabriel dynasty, in the Gabriel dynasty. In the development of the world government, we can still provide some help, and even the world government is willing to promise not to interfere with New World's things. All New World's things are dominated by the Gabriel dynasty. I don't know if the Gabriel prince is willing to put down the past. Misunderstanding. Work together to build a peaceful sea. 5 elders said. Hearing what 5 elders said, Yuri was not doing well, but Sengoku and others were secretly shocked. The words of 5 elders are equivalent to acknowledging the existence of the Gabriel dynasty, and even ceding the authority of New World to the Gabriel dynasty. For Gabriel Yuri, 5 elders actually gave in to such an extent. You know, Even if the nations established by 4 emperors Big Mom, they marry so many countries with New World to create a huge force almost all over New World. However, the world government has never recognized that Wan Guo is a sovereign country. Sengoku's eyes flickered, secretly thought in my heart, sure enough, it is 5 elders. Now Marine has been unable to enter the New World in a short period of time, so no matter whether it is allowed or not to the Emperor Chao Lai, it has been the world of pirates in a short time. Acknowledging the existence of the Gabriel dynasty and the status of the Gabriel dynasty, not only quelling the hatred with Gabriel Yuri, but also wooing the Gabriel dynasty, and at the same time pushing the Gabriel dynasty to the opposite of the pirates, but let 5 elders recognize Gabriel. The existence of the dynasty also made a lot of determination. Hehe, you deserve to be 5 elders. They are bold enough to do things. I almost touched my heart when I said that, but Jiadi Wangchaoli never needs others to admit it. What if you just slap me like this? What do you think of me? Can you provoke me? Yuri said with a sneer. Gabriel Yuri, I admit that you are very strong and powerful. That one move is enough to threaten the world government, but the world government is not without the power to resist. 5 elders said. Are you talking about ancient weapon in the orbit of the planet? Yuri raised his head faintly and looked up at the sky. Sure enough. You learned some secrets from Doflamingo. Since you know it, celestial dragons is not without weapons against you. 5 elders said. Hearing the words of 5 elders, Sakazuki and others looked surprised, and Sengoku's eyes narrowed. It seems that celestial dragons is not that simple. Are there hidden weapons behind celestial dragons that are enough to deal with Gabriel Yuri? Hehe. Space weapons are indeed powerful, but unfortunately they can't deal with me. Can you lock me down with you as a space weapon? Yuri said lightly. You who have an instant large-scale space movement, the trial of celestial dragons does not help you, but the Gabriel dynasty, if the world government is determined to erase the entire Gabriel dynasty, it can be done. 5 elders said lightly. Hearing the words of 5 elders, everyone at Marine was horrified. Even Sengoku was the first to hear that the world government had such a weapon. Are you threatening me? Yuri also said lightly. I'm just explaining the fact that you have your strategic abilities, and you were angry enough to cause a huge threat to the world government. Our world government also has enough cards to wipe out the entire Gabriel dynasty. If you and me go to war, it will only both lose and lose, 5 elders said. Hehe. If I use Skywrath and directly erase Marie Joy's, without celestial dragons, I don't know if your big secret treasure can be activated. Yuri said lightly. As early as we knew of your threat, we had transferred some of the celestial dragon's high-level secrets to various places around the world. Even if you erase all of the celestial dragons on Marie Joy's, it will not cause any impact. Hehe, it's really decisive. It seems that the world government still has some ability. Yuri said with a smile. Your Excellency Gabriel, the world government recognizes your strength and is willing to work with you to maintain the peace of the sea. With strategic strength, you and us will only lose out in wars, so please think twice. 5 elders said. Although the face of 5 elders is very flat, but there is incomparable anger in his heart. When will the world government make such a compromise with the pirates? When will 5 elders, the highest controller of the world government, have an equal conversation with a pirate? All this is because Yuri is in control of the strategic power that the world government fears. Whether it is the Rocks pirate of the previous rampage on the sea. Still later One Piece Roger, Whitebeard, Golden Lion. Even for the current 4 emperors, naval headquarters finds it difficult to deal with the huge power. But in the eyes of 5 elders, they are nothing more than a group of pirates. The lofty world government has never put a group of pirates in the same position, and it is even more impossible to make such a huge compromise for them and recognize their status. Because even if they are strong, they do not threaten the world government. As long as it does not have the same strategic power as the world government, it is impossible to have the same status as a dialogue with the world government. As long as the world government is willing, they can be erased at any time. Only Yuri, he has the strategic power to threaten the world government. It is like 2 countries that also have nuclear bombs. Only then will the 2 sides fear each other, have the same status, and have the same right to speak. Do you just forget it if you want me? Yuri, I just ask your excellency to think twice. When you use Skywrath, the world government will also target the celestial dragons to the Gabriel dynasty. Losing both ends is probably not what you want to see. 5 elders. It's really not what I want to see. I won't be angry with the world government, but I can't let it go so easily. Otherwise others will think that I am an existence that anyone can provoke, and I will give it to you in return. Planetary devastation. Yuri stretched out a palm, and a black ball of light appeared on Yuri's palm. Pushing Yuri's hand, the black ball of light flew into the air, and immediately the terrifying gravity was released from the black light ball. The entire Marie Joyce shook, and a large number of buildings flew up and flew towards the black ball of light in the sky due to the strong gravitational pull. What is the secret treasure of celestial dragons? There is no definite information so far, but roughly what can be guessed. It should be a secret weapon that can only be used by the blood of celestial dragons. Nothing more than ancient weapon, or some special devil fruit ability, or the combination of devil fruit ability and weapon, according to some of the information mentioned in One Piece. And then think of the One Piece world as a future kingdom, such a country whose technology far exceeds this era. Celestial Dragon's secret treasure should be some kind of high technology weapons, plus 5 elders mentioned in the anime. You can ask EIM to erase any existence that threatens the world government. This artifact should have the ability to attack anywhere in the sea at will. In this way, planetary orbital weapons should be more reasonable. Of course, because of the needs of this book, the Celestial Dragon's big secret treasure is set as a space orbital weapon, with a beam weapon that destroys the island, but the use requires terrifying energy, so even celestial dragons can be used at will. What's this? Planetary devastation. Compared to the previous ones on Barlow Island, it's not a level at all. Gravity. There is a huge gravitational force on that black ball. He is attracting Marie Joyce. If this continues, the whole Marie Joyce will be consumed by it. Looking at the black ball of light exuding terrifying gravity in the sky. Look at the surroundings, attracted by this gravitational force, and keep flying towards it, Marie Joyce. Everyone exclaimed. The entire Marie Joyce is collapsing, and large swaths of buildings are sucked towards the sky, flying. Even a whole piece of ground flying up on the red line. Some soldiers also flew towards the sky in exclamation. Sakazuki once saw this trick during the World War I on Barlow Island. However, the planetary devastation at that time is nothing compared to the present, and it is completely incomparable. This planetary devastation is more powerful than it was at Barlow Island. Through this, Sakazuki can also feel that there is such a big gap between Yuri now and Yuri 2 years ago. Marie Joy is destroying. This planetary devastation is sucking the entire Marie Joyce into the sky. Gabriel, Yuri, are you going to fight the world government completely? 5 elders said with an ugly face. I didn't use Skywrath. Otherwise, Marie Joyce would be destroyed instantly. Yuri said with a faint smile. How is this different from using Skywrath? 5 elders said angrily. The difference is big. At least you still have time to figure out how to solve it, and also have time to transfer and evacuate those celestial dragons. Don't think I don't know. The celestial dragons on Marie Joyce are now being transferred to the ground by you, but if it's Skywrath, even if it is moved underground, don't even think about living. The true power of Skywrath is more than 10 times that of Malin Fen for a long time. Yuri said with a smile. Hearing Yuri's words, the faces of 5 elders, Sengoku and others changed again. The real Skywrath is 10 times stronger than the Skywrath that destroyed Malin Fen duo? If it is someone else, you might think that Yuri is talking big, but everyone here is a master of observation haki. Especially 5 elders, they are even more powerful people who are observant, and they have not been able to hide from them by lying. They could see that Yuri didn't speak big words. It is this that makes them feel more shocked. 5 elders has guessed that the Skywrath released by Yuri at Marin Fender is not in full bloom. But 10 times is still far beyond their expectations. If this is the case, their Marie Joy's underground defense measures simply cannot stop the power of Skywrath. Your Excellency Gabriel, why bother to do this? If you have something to sit down and discuss, why bother with such a mess? Hehe. The majesty of Emperor Gabriel should not be underestimated. Offending the Gabriel dynasty is even more costly. I have been very tolerant to you. You are so many strong here, and you won't be able to solve even a small planetary devastation. Right? I'm optimistic about you. Don't worry, I won't make any more moves. I just want to see how you struggle. Yuri raised his head high, and looked at everyone with contempt and smiled. Gabriel Yuri. Hearing Yuri's words, everyone in Marine's complexion changed drastically, and they showed angry expressions, but they didn't dare to shoot Yuri right now. It must be stopped, otherwise, the entire Marie Joyce will be destroyed because of him. Sengoku raised his head and said solemnly to the sky. Because a large amount of building soil and rocks have been attracted and squeezed by him, planetary devastation has now become a huge stone ball. How to stop it? That is a huge gravitational force, someone asked. Any strength ability needs a source, just hit the ball, Sakazuki said with a sneer. While speaking, magma came out of his arm, and the temperature around him immediately rose rapidly. Joha Great Eruption. The volcano erupted, and the terrifying lava turned into a huge lava fist, which quickly hit the huge stone ball towards the sky by the force of gravity. Boom. The huge stone ball hit by the great eruption vibrated, the lava produced a huge explosion, and a large piece of the huge stone ball was shattered. Many stones were burned into magma by lava, and a lot of stones fell down. Then. There's no after that, after the lava exploded, the lava was sucked by gravity and attached to the stone ball. At the same time, the falling rocks were also sucked away again, covering the stone balls again. Lala, it seems that it is not ordinary to break, Pelusalino said. Meteor volcano. Sakazuki glanced at Pelusalino, then said in a deep voice. The lava fist head shot out like a meteor shower, hitting planetary devastation. The planetary devastation exploded continuously, lava flames, smoke and dust covered the surroundings, sparks were brilliant. Is it broken? Someone asked. Haha, good fireworks, Sakazuki, Yuri said with a smile. While Yuri was talking, the smoke and flames had dissipated. No, it should be said that it was sucked by planetary devastation. I saw that the big stone ball in the sky was shattered by Sakazuki's meteor volcano, but in a blink of an eye, whether it was magma, lava or stone, was once again attracted to planetary devastation as part of planetary devastation. Seeing this, Sakazuki showed a gloomy expression. Oh, I'll give it a try. Pelusalino raised a finger, and a lot of light gathered on his finger. The ultimate compression of the light, dazzling brilliance, the next moment a laser beam shoots out extremely fast, and it hits planetary devastation in an instant. Pelusalino's laser light has a strong penetrating power, shooting a huge stone ball out of a large hole and shooting it on the core of planetary devastation. Then, the laser light disappeared, as if absorbed by a strong gravitational force. Yes, work harder, maybe you will succeed, Yuri said with a smile. At this time, the gravity of planetary devastation suddenly increased several times, and the building ground was absorbed faster toward planetary devastation. Even 5 Elder Sengoku and others began to be a little unable to resist this gravitational force and wanted to fly into the sky. Only Yuri is like an unrelated person, standing there watching the show. Gravity doesn't work for him at all. 2. Seeing his misfire attacking planetary devastation, but it seemed to be absorbed by planetary devastation, Pelusalino's face also looks stunned. It doesn't seem that it can be broken simply, Sakazuki said lightly. Pelusalino rolled his eyes mockingly at Sakazuki. Try it together, Kuzan stood up and said at this time. Hearing Kuzan's words, Sakazuki and Pelusalino also stood beside Kuzan at the same time. For a time Marine 3 Admiral stood on the same line, exuding a strong breath. Seeing Marine E Admiral standing on the same line, Sengoku was very pleased, and did not take the first shot. Ice Age. Kuzan took the lead, an icicle pierced from Kuzan's hand, and quickly pierced the huge sphere in the sky, and the huge sphere was instantly sealed by ice. Everyone wondered, what is Kuzan doing? Such an attack has no effect on planetary devastation. Instead, it adds volume to planetary devastation and covers it with a thick and firm layer of ice. At this moment Sakazuki shot. The Burning River Great Eruption. Sakazuki's attack was the first time that he performed the Burning River Great Eruption. Compared with Meteor Volcano, Joha Great Eruption's single attack is indeed stronger. But didn't you try it just now? Just Joha Great Eruption was useless for planetary devastation. Not to mention that the volume of planetary devastation now is much larger than just now, and there is a thick layer of ice armor. Boom. But something unexpected happened to everyone. When Joha Great Eruption hit the icebound sphere melted and shattered inch by inch. Ah, not bad. The attack of ice and fire, the transformation of ice and fire produced huge damage, instantly exploding the periphery of planetary devastation, Yuri said with a smile. It's not over yet. 8 feet Chong Guyu. Countless light bullets shot out. The light bullets were extremely fast, and instantly hit the planetary devastation black ball exposed by the attack of Kuzan and Sakazuki. The blast of light bombs caused continuous explosions. Will it be wiped out? Gravity is still there. In other words, the smoke of the explosion dissipated, and I saw that the planetary devastation's pitch black light ball was still there, and it exuded a more terrifying gravity, sucking all the broken ice, soil, and lava around it. It didn't take long to form that huge sphere again. How come? In this way, there is no way to break. Trouble now, everyone exclaimed, even Pelusalino showed a dazed look. No, it's not completely useless, suddenly he said. Hearing his words, everyone looked towards he. It's not wrong, it's not useless, in fact, the power of planetary devastation has been weakened a lot. Sengoku said the same. Was weakened a lot? Isn't this gravitational force getting stronger and stronger? How can it be weakened a lot? Planetary devastation is indeed weak, Sengoku. Let's take action, this farce should be over. 5 elders also said. It's indeed time to end this farce, Sengoku said. While speaking, the body shined with golden light, turning into a big golden Buddha. It's Marshal Sengoku's ability. At the same time, 5 elders' hands were also on the sword. Yuri became interested now. 5 elders is a very mysterious existence in the animation. Some people say that they are super strong, even better than Sengoku Garp. Some people say that they are just ordinary people, and they don't have much strength. But when Yuri appeared in this 5 elders, he felt that his strength was not simple. However, Yuri had no way of judging how strong he was. This time, it's good to see how much strength the 5 elders has, and it is also the answer to the mystery of the unfinished past life. Ice Age. Burning River Great Eruption. It was still Kuzan and Sakazuki who attacked first and broke through the outer layer of planetary devastation. Bachichong Guyu, Big Buddha Finger Pistol. 1 Sword Flow, Return to the Ruins. 3 powerful attacks hit planetary devastation at the same time, and finally planetary devastation exploded. Congratulations, planetary devastation finally broke, Yuri said with a smile. Yuri hasn't finished speaking yet, an extremely terrifying gravity appears in the sky. Sengoku all looked at the sky in amazement. Planetary devastation was broken in the sky, but gravity did not disappear. Instead, it produces an unimaginable gravitational force. This gravitational force distorted the surrounding space. The whole Marie Joyce was attracted by this gravitational force and flew away from the ground to face the sky. All the things sucked in or crushed by this ultimate gravity. Everyone's face changed a lot when they saw this situation. What's going on? Isn't planetary devastation broken? How could such a terrifying gravity suddenly erupt? You also succeeded in detonating the gravity in planetary devastation in an instant. This gravity is quite dangerous, so I will leave first. Yuri said with a smile. After talking about a little bit, his body shot away at extreme speed in an instant. Yuri's planetary devastation is not chakra, nor ninjutsu. As long as ninjutsu breaks the core of ninjutsu, dispelling chakra will have no effect. But Yuri's planetary devastation is pure gravity. He does not have the sealing ability of the true planetary devastation and some magical powers. However, the corresponding pure gravitational force does not disappear after bursting. The gravity in planetary devastation is condensed into a solid state by Yuri, and an orderly layer is wrapped in one layer. After one layer of gravity is consumed, another layer will be activated. But once the planetary devastation is exploded and the solid state is broken, all the internal gravity will burst out at once. In this way, the gravity of planetary devastation will be consumed in a short time, but the gravitational force that burst out all at once is not weaker than the black hole gravitational force. Asshole, Gabriel Yuri. He did it on purpose. It's terrifying gravity, it's troublesome now. Can't be sucked in. Once sucked in, even we will be in danger. Shoot with all your strength, and disperse all the gravity at once.